damnedest thing. He's here. Like, I know he is. But he's not. He came in at 9:54. I said, Doug, what are you doing here? Like, you're 10 minutes early for you. You're 20 minutes early, really. And he was like, let's go.
Let's start having fun. What on earth is this chair?
I don't know. But
You're sitting on the stool.
Oh.
Yeah, you're.
I'm answering a text here. Hold on.
No, you know what?
Should we restart?
You know what? Maybe. But I've got a gift for him this morning.
Oh.
I need you to pull up your email on that computer. Because, it's that time of year, right? By the way, hi, it's Glenn Clark Radio. I'm Glenn, he's Griffin. Drew's here. We got stuff to do coming up a little bit later on in the program. Today's show is brought to you by Toyota, your local Toyota dealer via Toyota.com. Of course, always you can find the latest scores, schedules, updates for baseball, softball, lacrosse this spring for all of the high schools here in the state of Maryland at County Sports Zone, countysports.zone, presented by your local Toyota dealer. I got to make sure the internet works. Yeah, open up your email if you don't mind.
Okay.
First of all, Drew, good to see you.
You too. How do I get on the internet?
Don't worry about that. It's better if you don't.
Okay.
Don't worry about that.
Okay.
Do not worry about him.
Yeah,
Fine. He's fine. He's fine. It's only going to make things worse. It is that time of year.
Oh, I can't wait for this.
I
know what it is.
I was telling Griffin the other day.
I already know what it is.
There was a time, once upon a time, Griffin couldn't believe this, where radio shows the week of the NCAA tournament would actually attempt to break down the brackets. We would do an hour, like on a Wednesday morning.
Hour? Well, I mean, we would do the whole show.
It might be that we would do a show that was just us breaking down the brackets. And at some point, and I don't know where the line was, it had something to do with transfers. It had something to do with guys. They were at one point they just stopped being 4-year players in college basketball, and we all realized we didn't know anything about the NCAA tournament, so we stopped doing it. We just said we're not doing this anymore. It's bad content. We don't know what we're talking about. You couldn't name how many. There are 66 schools left in the NCAA tournament, Drew. How many of those schools do you think you could name one player that plays on that roster?
None?
No, it's not none.
Is that Barbat guy still on, Backett guy still on North Carolina?
Baycott?
Yeah.
Is he? Okay.
He's doing TurboTax commercials.
So that's
now.
one.
Oh, he's got that
Good
going
for
for
him.
him, which is nice.
So that's one.
You got one. Anybody else?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
You sure?
Yeah. Shannon from Illinois.
There you go, Terrence Shannon. Yep, you got two.
Great guy.
We got two. Yeah. Yeah.
Dumbass from Wisconsin.
Demas. Yeah.
Damascus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time Johnny Holliday definitely said dumbass a bunch of times
you know what?
during the game because I was listening.
Maybe that's how he really likes it. Maybe it's a Haloti Nata situation.
It's like Charlie Ekman when he used
All right, well,
to say
you got three.
when
Come
he used
on.
to call Charlie Fike as Charlie.
Yeah, right.
Something
the other
else.
thing. Yes, correct.
Edie.
Zach Edey. All right, here we go. We got 4.
Oh, Timberlake.
Nick Timberlake, who was just on the show yesterday.
Oh, was he
Kansas.
really?
You could name 2 players on Kansas.
Dickinson.
Yes, correct. But that doesn't count.
Okay,
It's
so
still
I mean,
one school.
obviously, I know what I'm talking about. So
Well,
now make your point.
Do you think you could get to 10?
Probably not.
Yeah, okay. So we stopped doing this content some time ago. We realized this is bad. We don't really know what we're talking about. We're only going to embarrass ourselves if we attempt to continue doing this, or we did it in a tongue-in-cheek way. We would
Kinda wanna
say,
keep doing this.
What's
you
that?
Could, you could probably do a few more Big Ten schools and
there's not that many Big Ten schools in the NCAA tournament.
Is this on TV today? Are
Duke.
we on the
On TV? Yes.
Are we on the screen?
I'm pretty sure they put this on the USA Network.
Well, no. Are we on?
Yes,
Live?
we're on
Yeah,
video. Why?
How do I see it? Where do I go to?
go to YouTube, or you can go to Glenn's Twitter.
You can go to youtube.com/PressBoxOnline, and it should be right there. If it's not, tell me and we'll fix it.
Yeah, I guess that'll be
Press box
a
online.
bigger problem.
Yeah. Why do you want to see yourself?
I just want to see if we're on TV. That's all.
We're not on TV.
Lucy said it there. You're going to be on TV.
We're on YouTube. Well, I guess to Lucy,
Lucy
that
wants
is
to watch.
TV. All right. I don't know if this is for Lucy. I'm not sure.
You go to PressBoxOnline.com or
No,
PressBoxOnline?
YouTube.com/PressBoxOnline.
Okay, I'm there.
All right. Now, what do you see?
Just a swirling thing.
That's
Just
not
really
good.
slow.
That's not a good sign.
All right, hold on.
What internet
Make
signal
sure.
are you using?
My phone, because you guys wouldn't tell me how
Oh,
to get
for
online.
God's sakes, give him the sheet of
Oh, here
paper.
it is. Okay, I'm on. I'm on
All right.
live.
All right.
No, I'm good.
You got it?
Just leave it there. Well, I'm trying to see if I'm on TV.
We're done. You keep saying TV.
This is TV to me.
I mean, for what it's worth,
Yeah, we're not on.
it's better than being on Masson.
Well, that's true. All right, so anyway, let's keep
All right.
going with sports.
So yeah,
So I
sure,
know a bunch of
sports-ish.
players, in other
Yeah,
words.
yeah, you know some players.
I know Virginia got beat last night.
They did. They got their ass handed to them. So we decided some time ago to stop doing this, but not everyone decided that. In fact, the king of sports talk.
No.
Well, this isn't new. This isn't.
but we got
This
it.
is a legendary.
it.
It's our
Where's my
favorite. It's
headset?
my favorite clip of all time.
It definitely is.
The king of sports talk. He.
Who, by the way, if you remember when I told you how much he made,
Yes.
that was the day you started crying.
Yeah.
I
Fact.
said, you guys are making fun. We
Yeah.
make fun of this guy.
So
We make fun of him.
The
He
king-
makes $2.7 million.
the king is a little bit better than the rest of us. Like, the rest of us didn't really continue to follow college basketball. But Mike Francesa, of course, that man being the king of sports talk, he continued to follow college basketball. And he offered this gripping breakdown
ACC.
of the big ACC. This is he wanted to let you know how the NCAA tournament was going to play out, and the king knows all. This is one of our favorite all-time clips
for
from
sure.
the Mike Francesa program. Oh, good.
At Maryland and Florida State, which you've already had this year. You have, let's see what happened. What happened in those Maryland-Florida State games this year?
What did happen?
I don't think it was a vintage Maryland year by any stretch,
Not at all.
but I could see them. They didn't play once this year?
That's weird.
Oh, Maryland. I'm thinking, geez, I'm forgetting Maryland's. You know what? I'm forgetting now.
That's right.
I'm forgetting. Okay.
That's right.
You know what? I'm forgetting. You're right. They wouldn't play. So,
Struggling though.
the bottom line is,
What is it?
Mikey.
Maryland should have been better.
Should have been.
They had some injuries.
Right about that.
Could have been.
They're hot and cold. You know, their best players hot and cold.
Right. Who?
So from that standpoint, you know, I could see them. I could see them winning this game.
Yeah.
I could see them losing this game.
Those are the options.
One way or the other. I don't think it's I don't think it's that big a deal one way. I don't think it's a shocking game one way or the other. I think
Probably
pretty big things were expected from Maryland this year. They really kind of disappointed.
Were they?
Had a kind of a hot and cold season. Good coach,
15?
well coached team.
I don't remember what year.
You know, obviously always a lot of
16,
expectations
17,
there. You know, they expect good things there all the time. They have
at
very
that
high
point-
expectations for that program, which you would expect. I mean, I think that's
They have high
that's
expectations.
reasonable from a standpoint
Which
of
you would expect.
week in, week out, what you would expect from that group.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think they had a great year for them. What I was thinking was old time ACC. I'm forgetting Maryland's in the Big Ten now, so they've moved. So that's why I'm thinking they play each other. They're not even in the same league anymore. You forget that Maryland moved. So
No. We didn't forget.
bottom line is, I could see that game going one way or the other. I'm not a big Florida State fan. They had a good year. I just
What's
don't
the
love
time
them. I
marker
never
on this,
have.
Griffin?
3 minutes right now.
Where 2
So I go either way with that game.
Go either way with that game. That, by the way, the best thing he said the entire time. He got you that dynamite. You can't get that anywhere else. Mike Francesa for 2 minutes and 30 seconds on a nationally televised show that also aired in the biggest market in the country.
This
Broke
was
down
This is a matchup that didn't even happen.
It didn't happen because Maryland lost to Xavier, right?
Correct.
Maryland lost to Xavier.
So he was trying to break down a second-round matchup.
This game never occurred.
Mike A.
He couldn't name.
You got to play that one too. While we're doing it, let's just do the greatest.
Oh,
hits.
you just want to do all Francesca?
Do
this
the
morning?
greatest hits. Do Mikey. Do who was it? Akeem the Dream. Just do Francesca.
Sleepy Floyd.
Because he fell asleep on the air. Just do that one too. Let's just
get
it over with.
There will never be anything greater.
The best part was we used to do this. The best part is we would do this.
Going into Friday, Louis Oosthuizen was under par in his last 5 rounds at Augusta National.
He tries to say Louis' name.
Oosthuizen's in that.
Hang on, that's pretty.
He's still on the course.
That's actually pretty good. For
Louis Oosthuizen's now 7 under.
That's as close as he was ever going to get.
Oosthuizen's in that.
This is not as good. You got to find the one that Drew's talking about. The legendary one. He fell asleep one time during a chat with their Yankees beat reporter. Whoever Sweeney Murdy was the Yankees beat reporter for that station, and he was on one time, and Mike fell asleep. So people made fun of him. Not that clip, but then people were making fun of him, and one caller got through and asked him about all the you know what I love about whatever the network was called, MSG, is they show all the classic games, with Akeem the Dream and Sleepy Floyd. It took Mike a second to catch on to what he was doing, and then he hung up on him. It was a legendary clip. But nothing will ever give me more
But we
joy.
did this, and people would call in and email and say, this is the best radio I've ever heard.
It's just us playing.
It's just us. We were just playing Francesca quotes.
All we were doing was just playing Mike Francesa clips. That's it. That's all we had to offer, was just making fun of Mike Francesa.
He spent 2 minutes just sitting there trying to think about an answer to a trivia question.
God, Lord, no, I don't care about
who
that.
knows?
Yeah, you're going too deep. We got to play the hit. Got to play the hits. Try to play the hits. That one is the most important moment in the history of not only that show but our show as well. It was amazing.
They're hot and cold.
It's amazing.
I mean, they could definitely win or lose.
They could. Yeah, go either way with that one. For 2.5 minutes, couldn't name a player, couldn't tell you what conference they played in. But he was going to break it down. He was going to get you the sports. That was what Mike Francesa was going to do. God, I love that. All right, Drew's here. Good morning. It's a Would You Rather Wednesday edition of Glenn Clark Radio. Would You Rather Wednesday scenarios are up at Glenn Clark Radio on Twitter and Facebook. They're brought to you, as always, by Glory Days Grill, where they've got the delicious hot fish sandwich for your Friday fish fix. Get over to your neighborhood Glory Days Grill. Someone's winning a $25 gift card from Glory Days Grill just for participating in Would You Rather Wednesday. Hey, Drew, thank you for stepping up and doing the right thing and getting involved in our charity bracket contest, by the way.
I don't do any of those.
Yeah, I don't care about that. That's not my concern. We're doing something for charity.
You want me to say it?
Go ahead. Yep. Go ahead. Go right ahead. We'll do charity when?
When we can make money off
That's
of it.
right.
Now, just tell me what you want me to do.
I need you to send me $20, and you need to fill out your brackets. That's the way it is. Half the money goes to charity.
I'm not sure you just heard what I said.
Yeah,
I don't do those sort of things.
It's fine. Let Lucy fill them out.
Okay.
I don't
All
care
right, I'm in.
what you do with it. I just need you to get in the bracket contest because we're doing it for charity. I've had a great response so far, but I'd still like to make it even bigger. We're helping out Show Your Soft Side, a wonderful animal charity. So please get in. Venmo Glenn-Clark, PayPal Glenn Clark 180, Cash App Glenn Clark Radio. Everyone who I called out yesterday, successful. Got them all in. So now I got to start thinking about who I'm going to call out today. I'll consider that for later on in the program or later on social media. But need you to get in. I tasked you with finding more people to get in, Griffin. How's that going? Yeah?
Yeah,
you nailed it.
I think my brother's going to be in.
Okay, well, that's one. All right, that's one. That's technically more, so I'll give you that much.
Thanks.
Get in. Bracket contest. Everything starts. Do you have any interest at all, by the way? Like, do you care even a little bit? Will you even
I
watch?
haven't even, honestly, do you want to know the honest truth?
I want you to be honest, yeah.
I have not looked at the bracket. I know the games last night. I know Colorado State beat Virginia. I know Wagner beat Howard. I haven't looked at the bracket at all. But I'll do this thing with you, and I'll give you the Final Four because I probably will get it right.
Oh, yeah?
So, yeah.
Yeah, you think you'll get it right?
Probably.
Hang on a second. Tell me who's going to be in the Final Four. Oh, you.
Well, I can't do that yet. Because I haven't looked at the bracket.
What are you doing? If it's more important, you can just walk. It's okay.
No. It's
okay.
I got a crisis I'm dealing with at church.
Oh? Uh-oh.
No, it's okay.
I don't know what that means. That doesn't seem
let me
like
look
it's
at the
a big
bracket.
thing.
Give me a print a bracket.
No, we're not doing this. We're not doing
print a bracket out.
Oh,
and I can do it.
God's
I can fill your thing out for you. Yeah. Let's do that.
You have to fill it out online. You can't fill it out on paper.
I know that, but let me look at it and go through it and tell you what's going on.
No, you don't know who the players are. We're not doing my
Dude, I just went through like a dozen teams with you. 15 teams.
No, you named like 5.
Okay, it was
you
close to a
named
dozen.
One player from those 5 teams.
Jameer Young, Donta Scott.
They're not in the tournament.
Oh,
Yeah.
They didn't make it?
Not close.
How'd they do against Florida State?
They didn't play this.
Did Miami make it?
Yeah.
I saw Jim Larinaga was all mad about something. What happened to him?
What was Jim Larinaga mad about?
I don't know what he was mad
what was he
about.
mad
They weren't on the bubble.
Oh, he was mad about the portal.
Oh, he's mad about the portal. Well, I said this yesterday. That there are takes that are stupid and there are takes that are good. The portal shouldn't open while the NCAA tournament is still going on.
Unbelievably insane.
That's insane. You open the portal when the season's over.
Right.
Like this is not hard. We've talked about this a lot with NFL coaches over the years. Like, it's insane that in the same way that you're preparing for the biggest game of the year, your offensive coordinator might be preparing for the biggest interview of his life.
It's
like,
awful.
it's bat-ass nuts
Right.
that this is the way that we go about doing business. It's insanity that the portal opens at the same time as the college basketball season is going on.
Right.
No. It don't work that way.
This is, and I don't know why I think it's way worse for basketball than football. So somebody may make an argument that it's way worse for football, and if so, I'm willing to listen to that. This thing is gonna and / has ruined. This is ruining or going to ruin college basketball.
Yeah, I'm not giving you that.
You don't have to. I will.
I'm not giving you. Well, you're
You
wrong,
can't.
though.
You can't keep the players. You can't build relationships with them. You can't coach them.
And yet somebody's still going to win a national championship.
It's got nothing to do with it.
It does.
No, it doesn't. Just because you're having a competition doesn't mean it's any good. This is ruining the fabric of college basketball. The coaches can't coach these kids, and I'm not. Understand? I'm not necessarily blaming the kids. I'm saying the totality of this transfer portal idea with this incredibly stupid free movement is no good for the sport. Someone's going to win, but it's terrible for the sport. You can't coach these kids, and you can't build relationships with them. And maybe the ones that you're going to build relationships with are the 9, 10, 11, 12 kids on the team. That's fine, but you're not going to be able to build a basketball team that maybe doesn't win this year, but could be good next year and really good the year after, because I know I got that kid for 3 more years, and I tell you what, man, when he's a junior and Smith's a junior and Clark's a junior and Johnson's a junior, we're going to be really good.
So
you can't do that.
So somewhere in what you're saying is a point. The problem is you're traipsing into hyperbole when you say it. The point is, it's not the same, and it never will be the same again. It can't be. And the idea that you're going to have, players that you get to know for 3 years, and that'll help with delivering fan interest, as you see someone come in as a freshman, and you think to yourself, man, he could be really good in 2 years. It's over. Those days will go. They will never occur again.
I got 5th row seats for ELO, by the way.
Wonderful. Wow. I'm happy for. That was what you were panicked about. That's why you came in.
No, I just got that just now.
Okay. That part is true. But when you try to traipse into the hyperbole of it's going to ruin college
it's not
basketball,
hyperbole.
It's absolutely
no,
hyperbole.
It isn't.
The ratings for this tournament are going to be through the roof. The money that's being
you don't
made
know
is
that.
Drew, they haven't changed.
Okay, well, let's see what they are. But so all right, so let's table that argument for a second. You think the basketball's good?
I think the basketball's fine. I don't think the basketball's good at the NBA. I don't think basketball is anywhere near say this. You know what? I'm going to take that back. I don't think the basketball has changed anywhere the way that we describe it that it's changed. I think the basketball...
I think you're dead wrong there.
I think
the basketball last night was dreadful.
Yeah, because that was one game.
The
The first game wasn't Maryland? Dreadful. Yes, Maryland played dreadful
Maryland's
basketball.
terrible.
I agree with
Most
that.
of the teams in the Big Ten were terrible.
I don't think the Big Ten is a great measuring stick. The Big Ten's
okay. Well, you're just going to keep backtracking until you get
because there's plenty
college
of teams
basketball
that are playing good basketball throughout the course of the country.
I don't know about that.
The Big 12 is playing good basketball almost
plug my
night in, night
computer
out.
in.
The SEC randomly is playing good basketball. This year it happened to be the Mountain West was playing really good basketball. There is plenty of good basketball to be found. We just say these things. On the whole, basketball has a problem that is related to everyone a few years ago realized, why would we take mid-range jumpers? They're only worth 2 points. Let's either go to the basket or shoot a three. That is a problem that exists through. Oh, God, that's going to be terrible. That is a problem that exists throughout the sport at every level. It's not has nothing to do with the players going from team to team. It's because there is a basketball. It's similar to the baseball problem, where it's true outcomes. That's an issue. You're right about that. But trying to make that about the transfer portal or make that about any of this?
I think the basketball's terrible. I do. I think when I've watched it, I don't think the basketball's any good. And
How much have you watched?
I've watched a lot.
Did you watch Boise State play once this year?
Who?
Boise State.
They're not even in the league anymore.
Just saying.
I don't think
now.
they are. They have the blue field, right?
Yes, they do. Exactly. That's where they play. You nailed it.
Tell me, I don't know.
They play basketball on the turf.
The basketball's no good, and you can't make it good when you don't have basketball players.
We're not doing this. They have that. There are plenty of basketball players.
They're not. They won't be there next year.
That's fine. Next year they'll be somewhere else.
Iowa State's winning.
There you go. That's
not
the
a bad
answer.
pick,
Name somebody who plays for Iowa
what?
State.
It's not a bad pick.
Name one Iowa State basketball player.
Well, that Smith kid.
The Smith kid. The Smith.
How funny would it be if there was a Smith on
There might be. There might very well be. I'm not sure.
Oh, man.
Yeah, there you go.
How do we do against them? Because they're Iowa State.
Right.
How we do? How would Maryland do
They're
against
still
them?
in the Big 12, unfortunately. So Maryland didn't get a matchup with Iowa
Who are you taking?
State. I think UConn because everybody's going to take UConn because we just assume that UConn's the best team, which almost guarantees that means that it's going to be, McNeese who wins the NCAA tournament this year.
Man, they won't win.
The shame is in what you're saying. If you said it a different way, you would be making.
I don't have to say it a different way.
But then you're wrong. You're just signing up to be wrong.
No, I'm not. I'm saying it from the standpoint of that you can no longer build a basketball program, and you can't have the same, however many it is, because it changes every year. You can't have 9 guys back, 8 guys back, 9 guys back, 8. You can't build anything like this. It's awful.
That part
and
of
I'm
it,
not saying that. I don't want to say that to be detrimental to the kids. They're just doing whatever. The kids just do what they're told to do.
But you're saying two different things. That part of it can be true, that you traipse that into it's ruining college basketball. And maybe it is for you. Maybe you've decided, I don't like college basketball anymore because I don't know who's on each team. And that's possible. But it's not backed up by anything that's actually occurring.
I don't think the basketball's any good.
If you don't like the basketball anymore, and there are plenty of people, again, that unrelated to the transfer portal, there is a true outcome problem that basketball has dealt with for the last few years. And there is way more of an issue of guys just jacking up threes for the sake of jacking them up. That's not unique to college basketball. It's just that the players there aren't as good as the players that are doing it at the NBA level. That part is a different conversation, and no matter where somebody's playing on what team, that's going to be a problem because it's a basketball problem. It's a high school basketball problem. It's a problem at every level of basketball where everyone is just shooting threes for the sake of shooting threes. That part I can't even really disagree with. But everybody's doing it.
I think the basketball is bad. And maybe this is a one-year outlier. And okay, then we'll revisit it next year.
But
I think the basketball's bad.
Not liking the basketball has not translated to there's an actual problem here. Somebody's still winning.
Well, I think the coaches would strongly disagree with you.
The coaches hate it because their job is harder, of course. Nobody wants this at the coaches level, but some of them are saying
harder isn't even. I don't know that harder is the right word. I don't think harder is the right word.
It's definitely.
I don't think so. They're all operating in general. They're all operating on the same level. So I don't think harder is the word.
It's harder than it was 5 years ago.
It's more. There is another word for it. It's not harder. it's something else.
Okay, so come up with that word.
I'm
Tell me
trying
what
to.
It is.
I'm trying to. But it's not. They're still coaching basketball. The problem is they coach a kid for a year and he leaves.
Yes.
And then they got to go bring in another kid.
That's why it's
And
harder.
There's another word for it. Because when you say none of these coaches are afraid to coach. That's all they want to do.
I don't think anybody. I've said
they
that.
want to coach. They're not afraid to coach. They're not afraid for it to be hard. Not at all. They're not afraid for it to be hard.
You say that.
They're not.
There are some that have
They
kind of
wanna
outright
coach.
acknowledged it.
They want to coach.
Yes, they want to coach.
Bob Huggins wants to be in College Park.
Sure.
Where he should be.
I think they're going to
want a winner.
I think they're going to pass.
We want a winner.
I think they're going to
Bring
go
him
ahead
in.
and decline.
But the word's not harder. But there is a word about it.
You don't like this. I don't know why you're afraid of the word being harder. It's a harder job than it was 5 years ago. It is.
Because you don't have the ability to groom the team
Yes.
the way you want them to be groomed.
Correct. It's harder.
Oh, okay, it's harder.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a more difficult job than it was 5 years ago. It is. There's no gay way of getting around that. And you're being compensated, in most places, quite nicely for it. In some places, you're still being compensated more than the average human being is being compensated. But sure, at Coppin State, it's damn near impossible. It's essentially an impossible job at this point at Coppin State because you're not making significantly more than everyone else is, but you're making still six figures. You're doing fine with your life for how difficult the job is. It's a brutally difficult job. No one is debating that. And it is a much more difficult job than it was 5 years ago. But that's when we get into the awkward conversations that people don't want to have. Do you want to go ahead and do contracts? Do you want to do that? Is that what you want to do in order to try to make this easier for you?
Well, I think that's the answer. And this is all I would say about this, because this is a tired argument. Here's what I would say. The kids should have to sign some sort of contract, whatever that might be. There should be some remuneration permissible for them that's run through the school, and their tuition should be removed from that, should be deducted from that. That's what I believe. So if a kid makes $150,000 and the tuition's $66,000,
They can do whatever they want to do.
He
with
makes
that.
$88,000.
They can do
or
whatever
whatever.
they want to
Right.
do with that. That's
So
fine,
I have acquiesced over time because I understand the landscape is changing. No problem. In fact, I sort of said this 10 years ago or 15 years ago. You should be able to let them make whatever they want. Just tell them, make whatever you want. Let the schools give you whatever they want, and you should just pay for your tuition.
But that's up to the school. The school gets to decide what your value is. If to them,
but
the
you got to
value-
have a rule for it. If you don't have a rule for it, you're dead.
What do you mean a rule for?
You got to have some. You got to have a bottom line basis in place to say here is the bare minimum. Or if you don't have some starting point, you got to have a bare minimum. You got to say you can play on the basketball team, and we'll pay your $66,000 tuition, no problem, and you get zero. Or if you want to enter into the NIL pool, you can do that too. You're getting a contract to play basketball here. We're going to compensate you.
Right.
We're either compensating you by giving you $400,000, $250,000 of an education, or you can make $1 million. We're fine with that.
Well, okay, and there's two different conversations, obviously, with that. One being what's the actual
Your plug
value?
doesn't work on my machine, does it?
I
It
don't-
probably
I
doesn't.
have no idea. I'll pull it out there in a minute.
No, it doesn't matter.
I don't know. There's two thoughts to that. The first that somebody would say is, well, the problem is the education isn't worth whatever they think that it's worth. And that is a conversation that goes deeper than basketball, obviously. That's a bigger problem that we're having in this country at the moment. But you keep saying that it's got to separate the tuition. That's up to the school. If the school thinks that you're valuable enough, and if another school thinks that you're valuable enough, then what are we doing? This is just a fruitless exercise to say, well, then make them pay for their own tuition. What? Like, if I think you're valuable enough, that's not going to be a concern to me. And does it leave the option that you can play here but not attend school here? Is that the scenario that you're creating? Where a kid says, well, if you're taking the tuition out of it, then I'm just not going to go to school. You're paying me to be an employee, so why do I care about the school part of it? Like, if that's what we're saying, I'm not even sure that I'm opposed to it, frankly. I don't care. Half those kids aren't going to school anyway. Like, I mean, why do we suddenly care about that?
Right. And I don't know the answer to that. I guess what we care about is, and this is where the other schools would make their argument, is the playing field isn't level. You or I don't want to say capitalists, but you and others will say, well, that's your fault. If you don't have $32 million in your booster budget, don't blame us.
Right.
We got it. Sorry, you don't.
Well, that's how baseball works.
Got okay. So, I mean, if you want to just say, give these 12 players contracts and pay them, I'll just make this number up. And this is why it doesn't work in a vacuum. If you say to Kevin Willard, give your 12 players contracts, they each get $100,000 to play basketball for you. If you said that, that would never work. It would never work.
Well, not every player is worth the same.
Correct, which is what they tried with Starbucks in Seattle, and they gave them all $80,000, and it worked for the 10 people who used to make $40,000, and it didn't work for the 4 people who used to make $150,000. So you can't do it that way. That's the concept of open market, right? So now you can't do it that way. So when a kid gets $40,000 and he's the 12th player on the roster, the kid who's the number 2 player on the roster wants $240,000. Right. Okay. So we've established you can't do it that way. So the only way you're going to be able to do it is to basically give them a contract and say you're going to play here for 3 years, or 4, or 2, but you're going to play here for 4 years. I personally think the coaches, for the most part, the coaches would love that. The problem is going to become when. Maybe Maryland is a good example of this. The problem is going to be when Tom Izzo's boosters give him $14 million for his 12 players, and Kevin Willard's boosters get $7 million.
That's the way it's going to be,
right? And there's going to be the problem.
Yes.
And 10 or 15 years ago, I said, why don't you just take the biggest 30 schools in the country and just put them all in one group? And just let them all go do whatever they want to do. And the other 250,
that's the way it's going to ultimately end up.
The other 250, let them actually play college sports, and let the other 30 just go do whatever they want. And if you want to have some sort of whatever you want to call it, relegation and promotion or whatever, hey, if you get into this category, if you're a 20, I'll make the number up. If you're a 25 million or less school, you got to play in the B conference. If you raise more than $25 million, you can go to the A conference. If you want to do that, okay. I think the coaches would like that. I do. No coach wants to coach when he or she believes
it's not a level playing
field. It isn't a level playing field. I don't disagree. Which is why they all like the basketball tournament.
I don't disagree with that inherently, but I think that there's still too big. So that's what the SEC and the Big 10 commissioners want that, right? Like, they want their 2 leagues to be siphoned off from everybody else. They want to have super leagues and do it that way.
And why do they want that?
Because they want to keep all of that money insulated. They don't want to.
And why do they want to do that? Like, I'm gonna keep chiseling at this. Why do they want that?
Because why would they want to share their money with their TV rights with places that they don't believe are generating as much of it?
Up to snuff.
Yes.
Yeah. Why give Vanderbilt $50 million?
Well,
no
Vanderbilt
one cares about
the SEC, so technically they would be a part of this.
No one cares about them, but.
Right. But they don't want to share it. The funny thing being that it's Maryland, and there's a lot of schools in these conferences that don't make a lot of sense for this. Maryland does from an economic standpoint. But, there are still, to your point, Vanderbilt would be one. But there are plenty of schools that are in these conferences that, I say plenty, it's probably about the list. Maryland, Vanderbilt, Rutgers. It's probably about it. I guess Northwestern, really. Like, Northwestern maybe does not.
But because, and D.C.'s a big market too, but nothing like Chicago. And you can't not.
And ultimately, it might be that they say the market size is what matters. Anyway, I'm getting into the weeds. The point being, they want to insulate as much as they possibly can. Say, why would our television deals lift up Oregon State? What's Oregon State doing to the value of the television deal? It's not giving us anything. So they don't want to lift them up anymore. They don't want you to share in on the media rights or whatever it is. They want to have it for themselves. They want to protect.
Which schools do you believe count?
I mean, count
in college sports?
That's a broad question, right? Because Duke counts in basketball, but Shores F doesn't count in football.
Okay, so they don't count.
So you have to count in both?
Which schools count in both?
I mean, it's not. It's a very small list. Michigan.
Okay, Michigan counts.
Bama, like in Auburn.
Yeah.
Notre Dame counts.
The truth is,
does Notre Dame count?
You know, it's funny. We're actually having the wrong conversation because they don't really care. Like once we get to this point, they're going to make their decisions based on football and not give a rat's ass about the implications for basketball.
Does Notre Dame count?
Yeah, but because they count for football. The
Texas?
football schools are Texas counts. Oklahoma counts. Florida counts.
Oregon doesn't count.
No, Oregon counts.
I don't think so.
Nike is still far too prevalent.
USC.
Oregon's way too much money.
I think one of the LA schools counts.
I think both of them count.
Okay.
I think there's way too much money there for them to not count.
Okay.
Way too much money. 1,000% Oregon is on this list. Ohio State is on this list.
Okay. Of course they are. Best school in the Big Ten.
James Madison.
Yeah. Florida State and Clemson, when they get out of the ACC, will both matter here. And they're both going to get out of the ACC.
Where are they going?
They're both going to go to the
Mountain
SEC.
West?
No, they're going to go to the SEC. They're suing them right now.
I know. Clemson's like, we'll just sue you. We got so much money.
We got nothing.
We have so much money.
Like it's hilarious that they weren't in like saying this immediately. They were like, look at Florida State and what they're doing. Like they didn't know the entire time. They weren't going to do the
Can't
exact
believe
same
Florida
thing.
State's suing the ACC.
Ridiculous.
It's such an awful
They're
look.
on the phone with the lawyer.
Yeah, right. All right.
So tell me more about this. LSU is on this list.
Okay. Michigan State.
Penn State, yeah. Penn State for sure is on the list.
Okay.
There are others that are on the list that are like we don't think about it, but there's a
Miami.
Miami's interesting.
Texas
right?
A&M should be on the list.
Texas A&M has
because
all of the money,
more than everybody times two.
All of the money.
Right.
Texas A&M 1,000% is on the list.
Right.
And Oklahoma State, same thing. A lot of oil money there. Oklahoma State is
as long
on
as
this
Deion's
list,
there, Colorado.
which is weird because why haven't they forced their way into one of these leagues yet? Right? Like, or Oklahoma State has all this oil money.
Yeah, they should be in the Big Ten.
Baylor too has a ton of oil money.
Right.
Like, what are they doing?
Right.
Like, what's going on there that they haven't figured out how to like call up Florida State's lawyers and figure out what's happening
Right.
here?
Just put us in on the lawsuit.
Right.
Anytime it says Florida State, just put in Texas A&M.
Correct. Just understand.
Right.
This is the way.
Or whoever.
Works,
Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma
right.
State and Baylor specifically are
Okay.
the two that stand out. There's other schools that are on, like Wisconsin's on the fringe of this. They matter. They
don't matter in football.
No, they do because they sell so many tickets because it's still a wildly
Tennessee
popular
matters.
place. Tennessee does matter. I agree with that. Tennessee does matter. And then the others are interesting only if you care about basketball, right? Like North Carolina, Kentucky. You have to really, and Duke and
Indiana.
Kansas. Indiana's not good at basketball anymore. It's been a really long time. They used to be. They're not good anymore. So I'm not sure how much these schools care. What was the point of this exercise?
Well, just to go through, like how many of these schools
if we made a league of
that
just
we
them?
that we
Of
didn't
just the money?
that we didn't name.
Right.
And if you said to Brad Underwood, and
Georgia's
if
on
you
this
said
list,
to Brad Underwood, and if you said to Kevin Willard, and if you said to these guys, even Rick Pitino, now St. John's kind of doesn't count because they don't have football.
Right.
But if you said to those guys, and you said to Mike Loxley, and you said to whoever it is that coaches at Illinois, if you said to them,
you just said his name like 10 seconds ago.
who? No, the football.
Oh, okay.
If you said to them,
it's Brett Bielema, by the way.
You're never going to play Michigan again.
Right.
And you're not playing Ohio State again. Mike Loxley would say, "Glory be to God."
Yeah, it's easy to say that.
He would. The school might
the school
not.
would never. And
But Mike Loxley would say.
But Mike Loxley also gets it. Like some of these coaches,
he ought to get winning more.
Well, again, if he was in that other league, he would.
Correct. That's correct.
I understand.
He'd be beaten up on Towson.
But some of them also. I had this conversation yesterday about. Did you write about the Patrick Queen tweet at all?
I did not
over the weekend. I don't really care about it, but it was an interesting. I thought it was interesting. No, I thought it was interesting to talk. By the way, I should do a commercial. Today's show, Griffin, you can do it. It's brought to you by the Green Turtle. What's going on? What's going on at the Green Turtle today?
They won the A10. Over at the Green Turtle on every Thursday. Yeah, tomorrow. They're offering you a free $10 bet. So it's, if you're not going to be able to make it to Sports and Social, because that's where you need to be tomorrow, or maybe.
Let's not do two different reads at once. Just do the Green Turtle read.
Right.
Just do the Green Turtle read.
Give it the program.
You got to learn this.
I'm trying to figure out how to
you're,
go around it.
You're ad-libbing. Don't ad-lib. Just do the read.
Free $10 bet on, the NCAA Tournament starts tomorrow, so
You're still doing ad-libbing. Just do the read.
Free $10 bet, whatever you would like. Experience the ultimate destination for game day excitement, great food, and live in-person betting. So go check out the Green Turtle Bet Park Sportsbooks in Towson or Canton and go pick up your free bet and make some money while enjoying some food and basketball tomorrow at the Turtle.
We're going to have to do 2 more during the course of the show because that one was a miss.
Sorry.
Was that bad?
Yeah, it was bad.
It wasn't that bad.
You can't do that.
He loves beating you up.
You can't do that. No, you can't do a different read in the middle of the read. You can't do a competing read.
He loves.
We know that.
Do a double.
No, not like that. You can double up on like the press box print issue and something else that's in-house. You can double up on those.
Can James Madison beat Wisconsin?
They could, absolutely.
They could?
They could. 100% they could beat Wisconsin.
But I've got other 12-5s. I'm going to have to go with Wisconsin.
All right, there we go.
Well, I'm doing this for you,
Florida,
for charity.
You need to do that. No. I don't care what you do on that piece of paper. That doesn't going to help me.
He's copying.
I need you to give me $20
over later.
I need you to Venmo me $20.
It's always money with you.
Yes.
Get it from my boosters.
What?
Get it from my boosters. NC State, it's over for them, right?
I don't know. I mean, it was fun. The point that I was trying to make about the Patrick Queen thing is that you got to be in on it. Like where Patrick Queen is missing. And again, if he's getting abusive comments, that's not okay. And we can all say that's not okay and you're a creep if you're doing that and seek help. But if he just thinks that people need to get that nobody cares about Ravens Steelers that plays in the NFL, then he's missing it. He's got to be in on it. The bit is
it matters.
Pretend to care.
Yeah, right. It matters.
Pretend.
Right. You jumped ship to the rival.
Like you gotta.
You did.
Even we get past the silliness of it, we can understand that it's a good thing for business that the rivalry matters. That's good for business. It's good for everybody involved. It's good for him now as a Steeler, for Steelers fans to hate the Ravens. In the same way that it worked the other way. Because it was something that people were passionate and cared about. And what comes along with that is more money. More interest. That's good for business. Keep kayfabe. We're not asking for a lot. We're not asking you to fix the games. All we're asking you to do...
Any more than you already have.
Right, thank you. Is to pretend to care. That's
right.
it.
Right.
That's it. To understand that people are going to be passionate about it and to recognize that it's a good thing. It's a good thing for business that people are passionate about Ravens Steelers. You can eternally not care all you want. Laugh about it when you get home. You're counting your money. Laugh about the fact that people care so much about this stupid rivalry that you don't give a rat's ass about. That's fine. But publicly, get it. Get it. Understand. And that's where I would say some of these coaches, I think, are in on it. Like, some of these coaches understand that it's better for... Mike Loxley knows if he's not in that top league, he's not going to make as much money. Sure, he might win more, but he's not going to be compensated the same way. Because there won't be a Ohio State game where 60,000 fans show up at the University of Maryland, or a Penn State game where the stadium is full. And if all you're doing is playing Indiana all year, I don't care if you win more frequently, you're going to have 30,000 people there. That's the reality, and Mike Loxley knows that. So even some of these coaches, while they would say, yes, of course it would be easier for us to win, wouldn't necessarily sign up for the idea of being in a lesser division of the sport because they would recognize that it's not good for them. Okay. They're at the top level right now. I don't want out of the top level. I want to continue to be a coach at the highest level of football. Every single one of them. You think Delaware's ready to compete the highest level of college football?
No.
But they want in. Why?
Money. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, Towson clearly can't do it. They don't have the facilities to do it. Right. Towson would go into the A10.
They could.
But they would in a heartbeat.
Right, of course.
We get, X if we have a better TV deal. I mean, you can't even watch the
Flow
games.
Sports, yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's a joke,
Correct.
right? So they would all jump.
100%.
Yeah, for sure.
100%. I don't know that we accomplished anything here. Pretty sure this
I got my bracket.
Oh, good. I don't care about your...
And I got something... I think I really have something today for what's wrong with the country.
All right.
And and this one's been brewing, but
God.
I got something.
Oh, God. All right. We're doing it out of order today. We're going to do Would You Rather Wednesday next to talk about some more sports things. We're going to do Would You Rather Wednesday. Then we'll do That's What's Wrong with This Country. Still to come today, J.J. Cooper from Baseball America. He says it's incorrect for people to say that the Orioles are only good because of tanking. We'll talk to him about that.
He's wrong.
We'll talk about that later. Drew, didn't you say you had somewhere you had to be?
I'm hungry.
Okay.
Whenever I'm hungry, I gave up Chinese food for Lent.
Right.
And it's starting to wear on me a little.
Yeah?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Because
when you're otherwise normally so pleasant.
But here's the problem. When you walk out of Coward Hall, you got Panda Express to the left.
Right.
And
that's not.
Ichiban, and they both right around noon.
Oh,
it's like Dave Matthews
at
it's like going to a Dave Matthews concert and giving up weed.
Right, correct.
You're dead.
It's over.
You're dead.
Oh,
you might as well not go.
See, but I feel like if I smelled Panda Express, I would say I'm glad I gave up.
But no. Here's the thing about Panda Express that's interesting.
Yeah.
The food, the smell, unbelievable.
All right, you know what? You might be right about that.
The smell's unbelievable.
You might be right about that, actually. That might be true. It's been a long time for me.
The smell of Panda Express is
awesome. The last
awesome.
time I had Panda, I was like so excited waiting in line, and then I got the food, and I was like,
you looked at it, and you're just like,
it's airport.
What am I doing?
It's airport food.
Exactly.
What am I doing?
The smell of it is awesome. I'm sure Panda Express is going to want to advertise.
Oh, no doubt.
Sometime
spending
soon.
a lot of money with us.
Now I could get the Ichiban girl to advertise here
let's work on that
because I pay the light bill over there. I've noticed they've closed at 8.
Oh yeah.
Over the last 3 weeks, and she's like, "We close because we don't see you." I'm like, "I know."
You're keeping us open for an extra hour. All right, we'll do all that when we come back.
I got a good final.
Oh, and Marcus, it's Rosemy-Jacksaint.
Yes.
Georgia wide receiver, of course, played for Todd Monken at Georgia, getting ready for the NFL
draft. I do have a good Final Four.
We'll talk about that. Drew will tell us who's in his Final Four of players he's never heard of. It's Glenn Clark Radio.
Craving that classic New York deli experience? Look no further than the new Atman's Deli in Baltimore's Harbor Point. Corned beef piled high, hand-rolled bagels, and something different. A bar! Atman's has food and drink specials every day. Now open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Dine in, grab takeout, or hang out at the bar for the next O's game. Atman's Deli, an authentic taste of Baltimore tradition since 1915. Find us at Harbor Point or visit atmansdeli.com.
Why bet with the big boys this football season? Instead, try your hand with the local book, Superbook Sports, this fall. Superbook Sports is the book next door. Just a dedicated team of the best odds makers in Las Vegas, making sure you get the best prices and parlays anywhere. And now, Superbook will give you a bonus of up to $250 when you sign up and wager on the same day and use the promo code GlennClark23, GLENNCLARK23. So bet with the best and use the promo code GlennClark23 this football season with Superbook Sports. Visit superbook.com for terms and conditions. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Whether you're celebrating a special milestone, entertaining clients, or simply enjoying a night out, count on Ruth's Chris to deliver you the finest steaks, the best service, and a level of hospitality that has made Ruth's Chris one of the most revered names in steaks since 1965. Make your reservation now at ruthschris.com.
Whether your focus is luxury and comfort, convenience and technologically advanced connectivity, or sporty performance and aggressive styling, we've got the perfect Highlander for you. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new Highlanders from your local Toyota dealer today.
The ultimate fan experience awaits you at Sports and Social Maryland. See how we're raising the sports bar with our massive 100-foot media wall featuring 40 HD TVs and a 47-foot big screen. Bet on your favorite teams and this year's biggest events at the FanDuel Sportsbook while enjoying your favorite beers and cocktails, plus our delicious takes on bar food classics. Visit Sports and Social at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland, at Arundel Mills. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Discover your next favorite beer crafted in the heart of Charm City. At Guilford Hall Brewery, we believe beer should be flavorful and easy to enjoy. Our meticulously crafted lagers and ales are derived from centuries-old European brewing traditions, a staple for both the seasoned beer aficionado or a novice hophead. Experience beer styles that dare to showcase the exceptionality of simplicity. Visit our restaurant and brewery at 1611 Guilford Avenue or view our menu and tap map online at guilfordhall.com. Guilford Hall Brewery, European tradition, Baltimore charm.
The latest edition of Pressbox is available now, and on the cover we look at the promise of spring for the Baltimore Orioles as Todd Karpovich and others shine the light on the team's hopes to take the next step towards championship contention and what reinforcements could still be coming. Plus, Pressbox personalities offer suggestions to David Rubenstein about stewarding the franchise. Also inside, Bo Smolka on how the Ravens defense could evolve with new coordinator Zach Orr. And we meet lacrosse players from the men's and women's programs across the state. Pressbox is available for free at over 500 area locations, including 60 Royal Farm stores. And you can always find the entire edition as well as the best daily coverage of the O's, Ravens, and Terps at PressBoxOnline.com.
Contrary to what some people believe, I actually like this guy when he sleeps. Glenn Clark, talking sports.
All right, back in here on GCR. Griffin and I tomorrow are going to be at Sports and Social at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. That's where you'll find us watching the games. GCR will be 9 to 11, and then we will head over there starting at noon. Be rooting on Akron. We'll be rooting on Long Beach State, so come hang out with us. I have Griffin put together some parlays. We are going to be giving away some great prizes, some swag from Sports and Social. We've got baseball tickets to give away tomorrow. We got Royal Farms gift cards to give away. Plus, it's just the best place to watch the games. It's awesome hanging out at Sports and Social inside Live Casino and Hotel. All of the giant 100-foot media wall. And then on top of that, they've got delicious food. They're doing a few really great specials for tomorrow. You can reserve a table if you go to Live Casino's website.
The food at this place is so good, by the way. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's really good.
I mean,
on top of everything else.
I know it's casino, and everybody's like, yeah, casino.
Right.
The food is great.
It's really outstanding. They got a bunch
you
of great
can bet
specials.
on the games.
Yes, you can do that in a lot of places, but thank you.
How much better does it get than that?
No, it's an awesome place to hang out and watch
games.
the games.
The food's good.
And the atmosphere for big events at Sports and Social is incredible. Like the energy that you will find in that room, because everyone cares about every game because they're betting on it. Meanwhile, you go hang out at your local sports bar and watch the games, like nobody cares. Nobody gives a rat's ass. And frankly, as I said before, you go to some of these games, if you were actually in the arena, there'd be no energy. At Sports and Social, it'll be wild, man. So come join us. Take advantage of the sideline huddle. You can get 2 giant beer towers plus a choice of 2 appetizers, either 24 bone-in wings, the spinach and artichoke dip, the quesadilla egg rolls, a buffalo chicken or pepperoni flatbread, black Angus cheese sliders, all of that, just $225. So get you, your clients, your friends together. Come hang out with us tomorrow at Sports and Social inside Live Casino and Hotel. We'll be there from 12 to 4 watching the start of the big basketball tournament. Missing it would be madness.
I forgot. You're not allowed to.
Not during the commercial. Not when we're talking
we could
about
say
that.
it. We could say it.
Now I can say, let's talk about the NCAA tournament.
But you can't say it when you're promoting.
Exactly.
Okay, gotcha.
Exactly
Yeah, because
right.
they don't. All the money they have.
Yeah. Well, they need more. They could.
Okay.
They could use a little bit more. All right. Why don't we do Would You Rather Wednesday? Would you rather Wednesday?
Well, I got my bracket.
Fine. Really quick. Tell me who's in your Final Four.
First game.
No.
UConn.
No. No.
You think you guys going to pull it off against Stetson?
No.
UConn plays Stetson.
No.
I got UConn. No. Pat Kennedy used to do it this way.
I know.
Remember Pat would come in?
Yes, he would.
Pat would come in with 4 binders of stuff.
Yep.
And he would have, after the first 2 days, his final 8 would be wrecked.
That's correct.
And Pat, Pat's final 4 teams would still be left.
Yep.
It was, all right, my final 8.
I don't want your final 8. Give me your final 4.
Iowa State.
Okay.
North Carolina.
Okay.
Wisconsin.
Okay. What?
They beat Houston?
Tennessee.
All right, that one's fine. Wisconsin?
Yep.
What do you see in Wisconsin?
They beat Maryland.
I'm not sure that's
beat us twice.
A great reflection.
Beat us twice bad.
Well, one time they almost lost.
I know,
to
right?
Maryland,
the other time,
which I feel like should be disqualified.
They actually beat us 3 times.
Yeah.
The third time they beat us, it was like 157 to 29.
I love it when you say us. Mr. A1 Maryland fan over here.
I have UNC 79. Wisconsin.
And you got Wisconsin in the championship game.
70.
Wow,
Okay.
look at that. All right, now go. I need you to, again, I don't care about that. I need you to pay me your $20 to get into our bracket.
Well, what do I win when I win this thing?
You win half of the pot.
Okay, gotcha.
It could be up to $500.
Okay, I'll get it done.
You can use it for yourself or donate it to your charity
I'll
or
get
whatever.
it done.
I don't believe you.
Here's the link. You sent me a link.
Yes, because you can fill out your bracket online.
I fill the bracket out, but then I give you the 20 separate.
Correct.
Okay.
However you want to do that. You got Venmo, PayPal?
Yeah, I got
any
all
of those
that
things?
stuff.
Okay, give me $20. You're in.
Okay. Calm down. I'm on the air.
Are you?
It's like my buddy sending me these.
When did you start?
It's like my buddy sending me these texts about the ELO tickets.
Okay. You know
I'm
what?
on the air.
I'll say
Row
that
D,
for
by
what's
the
good.
way.
Oh, yeah? Where are they playing?
DC. This is it.
Oh, the big one? Oh, this is it. Okay. How
Jeff
about
Lynn
that?
has said this is it.
How about that? Well, that's a shame. That's a shame. He'll have to wish he was the Beatles somewhere else.
Jeff Lynn forgot more about music than the Beatles know. Give me
There
a
we
break.
go.
What did the guy want to know about Joel Damon?
Oh, how did he do this past weekend? And
He did okay.
Yeah.
Didn't he finish? He played really good on Sunday, really well. Didn't he finish top 20? I think Joel
You're
Damon.
the golf guy. You think we know?
No, I didn't
Just
bet
asked
him.
me,
I
did-
think Joel
did he
Damon
finish
finished.
top
I think
20?
he finished in the T19,
Never
T18.
heard of this person.
What did he do? He had a really nice Sunday. He had a good weekend.
Yeah. What do you got?
T11.
There you go.
That was a nice finish.
There
Yeah,
you
made
go.
a huge check, probably
for-
300 or 400
Good
grand.
for Joel Damon.
Under fourth in round 4.
Good for Joel Damon.
Under fourth.
Under fourth.
No, I said under 4.
Oh, under 4.
That's I
Under
think
4
I heard
in
the
the
same
fourth
thing.
round. I said it in the fourth
It was
round.
under 4.
Yeah, I think it might have all kind of.
No.
Under
I think that
4.
might have been the case.
I just shoot today. Oh, under
Yeah.
4.
2 games tonight. Montana State, a 4-point favorite against Grambling.
Okay.
Hey, how did our unders do last night?
We split.
Yeah, because we got the Virginia one,
Because
obviously.
Wagner and Howard
Yeah.
decided they were going to play a blitzing
81-78
place,
final there.
Look at you. Look at
Well, I follow sports.
when did you start?
Last night when I had
Yeah,
Wagner.
Yeah, right. Exactly right.
I did have Wagner as well. So
Colorado minus
worked
2.5 against Boise State's a dog tonight. I'm all over Boise State tonight.
Yeah. Okay.
All over Boise State tonight. You can bet at superbook.com. Download the Superbook app. Use the code GlennClark23 when you sign up. You'll receive up to $250 in a same-day first bet match, win or lose. All right, Would You Rather Wednesday is brought to you by Glory Days Grill. By the way, did you see Jackson Merrill, Severna Park native, made his MLB debut this morning?
Oh, did Dodgers win?
The Dodgers did win. Did you see what happened?
No.
The Padres were up 2-1.
Okay.
Ground ball to Jake Cronenworth.
Oh my gosh.
His glove exploded. It broke his glove.
Did it matter in the game?
They
Yeah,
ended
it
up
was the
scoring
go-ahead
4
run.
runs.
It scored the go-ahead run, I think.
So
In what
wild.
inning?
What was the 6th inning?
Okay.
inning?
Yeah, it was the 8th.
Eighth- it's the eighth inning.
Yeah, it was the
Eighth
8th inning.
inning,
Because they scored 4 in the top of the 8th.
I just
woken
woken up. I
What
had
did,
just woken up and I had
What
it.
did Ohtani do?
He had an RBI single.
He had a stolen base as well.
Yeah.
He's with the Dodgers.
He had a
now.
foul ball that I think, like,
He is with the thank
He's
you.
with the Dodgers.
Dynamite observation.
I don't know if you heard that over the offseason.
Severna Park's on Jackson.
Where's Clayton Kershaw, by the way? Did he sign with anybody?
He's with the Dodgers.
Oh,
but
he's
not,
signed
I don't
with
think he's
Hurts.
ready.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's not ready. Jackson Merrill of Severna Park made his MLB debut for the Padres this morning, so congratulations
Good for him.
to him. All right, would you rather
Get your 81 wins this year. Have fun.
Would you rather the Orioles decide they need more pitching depth with Cole Irvin struck? Another rough start for Cole Irvin.
I know.
Not great. They decide they need more pitching depth with Cole Irvin struggling in spring, so they sign Michael Lorenzen.
Okay.
But for some weird reason, that was actually going to be Jackson Holliday's roster spot, so now he's not with the club until May.
Oh.
Or
Ooh.
you get Jackson here on opening day and you deal with pitching later.
Or he just pitches.
Maybe.
Just
Not
let
impossible.
Just
Right.
let him pitch.
Yep.
You're supposed to be the bonus baby. You
yeah,
pitch.
right? Yeah, go ahead. Let's see what you can do.
You pitch. I want that kid up the whole year. I'll deal with the pitching. I'm good with it. I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
It might be
We're-
Julio
let
Teheran.
Julio or Cole Irvin start, and we'll score 8 runs when they play.
Okay, there you go.
When they
So
pitch.
It's just going to score so much it doesn't matter what they
yeah,
do.
I drafted Holiday in the 10th round of my fantasy draft, so yeah, he needs to be
It's
out.
got to be Jackson
Yeah, he's
Holiday.
gotta be out.
This one's actually tough for me because I'm very much like, it would be insane to not have Jackson Holiday on the opening day roster, but like, if that's what it takes in order to get some pitching depth,
For Lorenzen, I mean,
I get it. I'm not in
like,
love
yeah,
with
I think He can only
Lorenzen.
help, but
I feel like they need pitching depth. They don't have it. I am nervous about it.
I feel confident, in like some of these AAA get like these young guys that they have in AAA. Like I
Maybe
want to
in
see what they have.
July.
I want to see what they have.
None of that's doing
Like it's
anything for me.
probably not responsible for that to be the answer, but like
It's definitely not responsible for that to be the
Yeah.
answer. It's very selfish on our part that that's the answer. Number 2, would you rather this year you can win a $25,000 bracket contest, which will not be ours. You're not winning $25,000 from us. But you can win a $25,000 bracket contest this year, or go back in time and be good enough at basketball to be on the bench, like a player, but off the bench, for a mid-major team that reached a Sweet 16. $25,000
Well, I got
right
2
now.
kids in private school. I'll take the $25K.
You just take the $25K. You don't want to go back and think about all the ramifications of the other thing?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Just give me the $25,000 now.
So what's that going to get you? 1 semester for one of them?
That'll get me.
So I don't get in at all, but I'm like, or
No,
I'm like,
play.
oh, okay,
You
I'm like,
play.
I'm like
You're,
number 8, number
you're
9.
a reserve, yeah.
Yeah, but probably not with you. But anyway.
No, you're good enough at basketball that you're
Yeah.
You're right there in the mix. You got girls after you.
right.
You don't have to go to class.
Correct.
Parking tickets get
Well, it's no different for him than it was
Par-
when he was. He was a dodgeball national champion.
True, exactly.
parking tickets get
Yeah.
overlooked.
Essentially, I have to go back and do dodgeball again. Yeah, I'll do that.
Right, yeah. You got to experience all of these things. Imagine if it was at Towson, too. Like, imagine if you were on the team that led Towson to
I
a
was
Sweet
a
16.
CAA champion and a dodgeball national champion.
Right. Well, I don't know if you would get to keep all of the
Oh, I
dodgeball
don't get to keep
accomplishments.
the.
in
So
this
wait, so
scenario.
okay. Well, hold on.
Yeah,
I have
this
to give
is
up
tough.
all the.
Right,
I
I
have to give up all
understand.
the
This is, what,
dodgeball
this is
accolades.
tough for you. You'd have to give up all of the significant accomplishments. And look how far you've gotten
I know.
with that. Look how it's changed your
So
life.
replace that with the CAA championship.
Yeah.
Towson getting a CAA championship would be nice.
Yeah, it would be really, it'd be great, wouldn't it? What do you get? Pick one.
In any
I don't want to give
sport.
up the dodgeball championship.
This is real. This is a real thing that he's dealing
So I guess
with.
I got to take the $25,000.
Wow. All right, he's taking the $25K. And speaking of basketball, your boss sends you to Las Vegas for the rest of the NCAA tournament to hang out with clients, entertain them. Reasonable expenses paid. This is not something crazy. Like, you don't just get to go to every show. Reasonable expenses paid. And you get to stay at this lovely, look at this place, this lovely Airbnb right off the strip, right? Look at that. That is lovely. There's just one
It's
catch.
like where we used to stay when we went to the Super Bowl.
That's exactly right. We always, the finest.
Anything for you guys. What can I do for you boys?
You guys ever tried sleeping on top of each other? In a stack?
You've got a chair here.
Yeah, right.
Get the stool and
Yep.
put your feet up.
Basically have a bed.
Right.
The only catch about staying at that Airbnb is that when you get there, you look in the yard and you find
no.
500 pounds worth of snakes
Oh, nope.
that cannot be removed.
Nope. Don't even show them to me.
Just in the backyard, so like we don't have to.
No, in the front yard.
Oh.
As you're
Don't
walking up to the house.
Nope. Out.
This was recently found in a marsh near Tampa.
Nope.
500 pounds.
Nope. Out.
Of snakes.
Nope.
Just all
I don't even
kind
want
of
you-
hanging out. And they can't, for ecological reasons, they can't be removed.
Man, I thought I didn't think like watching Indiana Jones. I was like, oh come on, it's just snakes.
Right.
When I went to LA last year, there was we were on Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah.
And there was some
You
guy
guys
with
still
just like a
talking about
snake.
snakes?
Yeah. There's like a guy with a snake on his shoulder,
Yeah.
and it really freaked me out. I didn't
Nope.
think I didn't handle it well. I don't think I can.
Don't say the word.
I didn't know this was
Not gonna
such
do
a
it.
trigger for
I'm not
you.
gonna do it either.
Big time.
I had no idea this was such a trigger.
Don't even say
for
the word.
you.
I'm not doing it either.
Is it always been the case?
Yeah, I don't even say the word.
Really?
Nope. Can't stand them.
Wow.
Just
Did you show him the picture?
Wow.
punch them right in the face. Don't say anything about them.
Wow.
Just
That's crazy.
We had one loose in my old neighborhood once.
One what?
One of those. And they put flyers up on the mailboxes,
Oh
in the
my
community
God.
mailboxes, and took with a picture and said, "This is running loose. Anybody can catch it." Blah 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 blah. Well, I don't pay any attention to it, and I'm mowing my lawn, and it is stretched out. All 8 feet of it is stretched out underneath my fence. I take a rake.
Yeah.
And I don't kill it. I put the prongs of the rake into its back so that the snake fits into the prongs, and I lift it up.
And put it in your neighbor's yard?
No, and I put it in a trash can, and I put the lid on the trash can. I stick the trash can in my wife's van, and I drive to Double Rock. I pull over. If anybody's
Not
ever
my
been there,
neighborhood.
you
Yeah.
pull into the driveway. There's a stream that runs right through there. I go to dump it out. A dude runs out of the house there that's on the park premises, who's like the park somebody.
Mm-hmm.
He comes running out. The snake dives into the water. He is screaming at me. You can't dump stuff. You can't dump stuff. I'm like, it's a you know what? He
Say
says,
the
I'm going to call the
word.
cops. You dump stuff. I'm like, call the cops. I don't care what you do. He takes a picture of my license plate. He calls the police. The police don't show up. We're there 10 minutes. Cops don't show up. I leave. 20 minutes later, cops pull up to my house.
Are you serious?
Cops pull up to my house. Got a complaint. You were dumping something. I said I did. I dumped an 8-foot black snake into the stream. That's where the snake wants to be. The snake doesn't want to be in my yard.
Yeah.
He wants to be somewhere where there's other snakes.
Right.
And the cop was funny, and he laughed, and he was fine. But
wow, that guy really called the cops.
Called the cops
really
on me. Took a picture of my license plate and called the cops.
That's awesome.
So this guy was illegally dumping.
You know what? I'm not sure you can be in the bracket contest because of your record. I got a funny feeling we might not be able to include
I know.
You. Wow, I had no idea that was such a trigger for you.
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy.
Spiders, would you be able to do it?
Couldn't care less about spiders.
Really?
They don't bother me.
All right.
I can't stand spiders.
Continue to get me your responses for Would You Rather Wednesday throughout the course of the day at Glenn Clark Radio.
That's probably why I
on
don't
Twitter,
like Proctor.
Facebook. What does that do with spiders?
The snake.
Oh, I see now. Facebook.com/PressBox Sports. He's in the bracket contest, so he's a good man.
I bet he's going to knock him dead with all his sports knowledge.
By the way, Andrew Stetka said something like, I've watched less than 20 minutes. I'm like, no, neither has anyone else. Stop it with all of you that are trying to be like, dude, I don't know. I don't even watch basketball. No one is watching college basketball this season.
All you got to know is the mascot and the jersey colors. That's all you need to know.
You're good at that point. My God. Stop it. I'm so sick of this. Just pick some teams. It's fine. You'll win, you'll lose. Who cares? You're donating to a charity. God bless you.
Here comes the wind.
Hour number 2 of today's show brought to you by Atman's Deli in Harbor Point, where they're going to have goose flights coming soon.
Oh, nice.
Atman's, if you're craving that classic New York deli experience, look no further than new Atman's Deli in Baltimore's Harbor Point. Corned beef piled high, hand-rolled bagels, and they've got something different at this Atman's location because they have a full bar. Atman's Harbor Point, go to atmansdeli.com for daily specials. By the way, we had a situation with a bee on Sunday where we were at, I spent my Sunday at the Guilford Hall Brewery, had a lovely brunch, but we were outside, and there was a bee, and I'm the eternal, dude, I don't care, just leave it alone. It's not doing anything to you. If you stop panicking, nothing's going to happen here. But I'm the only person that was at Guilford Hall Brewery on Sunday that had that opinion. Everybody else was panicking, was losing their minds, was creating a scene. So one particular gentleman, it's one of the more incredible things I've ever seen, saw the bee sitting on the edge of the table that I was sitting at, came up with an empty plastic cup, and trapped that bee in that plastic cup. It was remarkable, right? Like, really, I was like, dude, that's incredible. But then we noticed that, like, there was a little bit of space underneath the edge of the plastic cup, and we were like, could he get out? So then I slid some paper menus underneath the plastic, like, to fill up that space. And then this dude just said, what are we doing? Picks up the entire contraption that we've now rigged, and he walks out to the front of the brewery and lets the bee go out front. And then, in fact, he said, I ran a block. I went a block down, let the bee out, and then I ran back the entire way. It was really quite impressive. Quite impressive. Shout out to that guy. All right, you want to go ahead and hit that button?
Oh, yes.
It's time.
Don't you see something every day and you say to yourself, this is the problem with this place? Yeah, this is what's wrong with the country. What's wrong with the country is we're not willing to talk about what's wrong with the country.
What's Wrong with the Country is brought to you, Griffin, by the Green Turtle. You want to tell everybody what's going on at the Green Turtle tomorrow?
Tomorrow and every Thursday at the Green Turtle, you get a free $10 bet to use on whatever you would like. You got basketball tomorrow, so something tells me that maybe where you want to, the direction you want to be heading. But you get a free $10 bet, and you can experience the ultimate destination for game day excitement, great food, and live in-person betting. So go check out the Green Turtle Bet Park Sportsbooks in Towson and Canton, and go pick up your free bet and make some money while enjoying some food and basketball tomorrow at the Green Turtle.
Very good. You swear this is your moment. So
well, I mean, I do have a couple of things. And the first one I'm really just now starting to notice. There's no way you should play basketball on Easter. So that's a personal one to me. It's wrong. In some ways, it is what's wrong with the country. That we're gonna go play college basketball on Easter.
The Orioles are gonna play on Easter too.
That's wrong too.
Okay.
They don't race cars on Easter.
Right. And that's the bastion of them.
Or Mother's Day. And those are good people. This notion that we can't. It's already bad enough we play on Christmas. We're going to play college basketball on Easter Sunday?
What would we
Are you insane?
What would we watch that day if there was no
golf?
Okay, so you're good at you're good with that.
They shouldn't be playing golf on Easter Sunday either.
So what about like the other religious holidays? What about like Yom Kippur?
I don't want to talk about those. I don't know enough about them.
But they matter. Like
then we'll never play.
That's my point.
No, there should not be sports played on Easter Sunday. Period. Now, let me get on to what matters. Right. Here is something I've discovered this week on 2 or 3 different occasions that's wrong with the country. And part of this is now going to be probably is going to be a generational thing a little bit.
Okay.
So it'll be an old man yelling at the clouds thing.
You're
but
good at that.
Bear with me.
Mm-hmm.
When I say kids, I mean anyone from, I'll say 8, and again, I don't know how old this kid was, but I'll say 18 to 30. When I say kids, stop mumbling. Use your words like an adult.
Okay.
And stop mumbling.
Okay. Tell me where you're going with this.
I go to get a coffee.
Uh-huh.
They mumble.
Okay.
I do for you. Excuse me? I do for you. I'm still not understanding what you're saying because I speak English. Oh, what can I get you? There you go. Now you're getting it. Now you're getting the hang of it there, kid. Speak to me. Look at me and say, what can I get you? Don't be looking at your phone. You're going to get something looking at you. Excuse me? Stop mumbling. Speak. Look up and speak.
Mm-hmm.
Put your phone down and speak.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm almost thinking now we ought to pass a law. You can't have your phone in your hand while you're at work. It's against the law. You can't have your phone in your hand while you're trying to make a breakfast sandwich or while you're trying to dish out food or while you're trying to wait on me at the T-Mobile store, which is the irony of all ironies.
Oh, that's good.
Put your phone down and speak. What can I do for you today? You're behind the counter for that purpose.
I'm going to guess that most of the establishments do have that type of rule. They just don't enforce it.
But you're I'm not saying you're behind the counter because you're less than me. You're behind the counter because you work there.
Yes, you're being compensated.
So when I come in, your duty, your job, whether or not you like it or not, okay, maybe you go home and you go, this waiting on people sucks. Maybe that's where you work.
Right.
Put your phone down and look up at me and say, what can I do for you? What can I get you? And I'll tell you, and I'll be gone. But stop mumbling. Can I put a name on that order? You can. Drew. What'd you say? Drew. Bruce? Just put Bob.
Okay.
And that's what I did. Just put Bob.
Right.
That's not your name. Correct, it isn't my name. You weren't listening the first 3 times when you thought it was Bruce. Put Bob down.
You desperately wanted to be called Bruce for a
right,
long
right,
time.
Right.
Let's not
Springsteen
kid
on
ourselves.
there. Right. But this, put your phone down and speak. And it's the same thing in cars. Put your phone down and drive. I get it. Some of you got to have your phone up in the thing because you're driving people around. But you got to have your phone out of your hand. Take your phone out of your hand. If you want to sit your phone down on the table and be looking at something while you're standing there supposed to be making me something, okay. Take it out of your hand. So that is part of it. Like, this is the distraction we've created. No, and this goes back to something we said at the very beginning. No one's paying attention to this moment.
No, that is for sure.
No one's paying attention.
Correct.
Because you're distracted.
I got a guy that comes in here every Wednesday, and all he does is look at his phone during the show.
You're correct.
Ridiculous.
And you're working on him. And he's doing better at it. But he's a kid.
That's not. Believe it or not.
He's a kid.
Believe it or not.
He's the problem.
Yeah, sometimes he is. Sometimes you're right.
Stop looking at your phone.
I agree.
While you're working.
Bruce. Stop.
Trust me, if you guys gave me a raise here, I wouldn't look at my phone so much.
Right.
But
I think that's what they said this morning at the.
And that's kind of the point I was going to bring up, though. It's like, I mean, these kids are getting paid $10, $15 an hour. Like,
yes, but they signed up for that. That part, it doesn't. You signed up for it.
You don't want to start that.
Don't want to start that?
No.
Nobody's forcing you to take that job.
Not at all.
Nobody's
forcing Drew to be here today.
When you're I'm way more than $15 an hour.
Right.
When you're in a servant position. And I don't
let's
mean
maybe
that.
not use that word.
No,
let's just pick a different one.
Correct, but that is what it is. You're in the service industry.
Yes, service.
When you're in the service industry, you're there to serve, and you're there to expedite the transaction, and you're there to move the line, and you're there to help me because you don't want me to do it. You don't want me to go behind the counter and make myself a coffee. I would, but that's not what you want.
Trying to think if that would be a fair.
But you don't want that,
right? Because I put more coffee in the cup than you.
No, because you don't want me behind the counter.
Well, but hang on a second.
You don't want me picking out my own bagel.
There are places where they let you fill up your own.
That's
coffee.
correct,
right?
And that's fine.
Yeah.
But you don't. But again, stop mumbling and look up at me and make eye contact and speak. And here's the problem: we've mastered the art in this country. We don't speak.
Right. No, it's interesting, though, that Griffin...
We don't speak anymore.
That's how Griffin followed up, because it is very much like there's... And in some level, we all are guilty of some amount of this, but it's different at every level. Like, are you doing your job or not? Like, for example, certain jobs that pay me, I'm willing to do a certain amount of prep for, right? Like, if I'm doing a job that's a certain number, I'll talk to all the coaches during the week. Yeah, thank you. Make sure you check your phone. I'll talk to all the coaches during the week. But if I'm doing a lower level job that's paying me a lower amount, I'm not going to do as much prep. And so to some extent, this exists everywhere. But doing your job does require the things that Drew's talking about. Like, that's a requirement for the job. You've been hired for service, to serve the customers. That's your job to do it. So to say, well, I'm only getting paid X amount of dollars, I'm not going to do my job, that's a problem that does... I don't know when that came in. That probably was closer to my generation when that started. I remember seeing a lot of that when I worked in retail. Like,
if I'm only getting $8 an hour,
I'm not going to do
sweeping.
I'm not going to do it. But that's the job that you signed up for. Like,
right.
That's not a surprise. That didn't change after you took the job. You knew exactly what the job was. If you don't like it, then don't do the job. Just say, I don't want to do this.
Here's the other thing, too, to dovetail off of this. And I definitely have seen a lot of this. For some reason, we no longer are interested in evaluating people. We're afraid to evaluate people. We don't want to say to you, you didn't do that transaction the way we want it to be done. We're afraid to do that. We don't want to evaluate you because we're going to hurt your feelings. Or you're going to say, well, you didn't say that to Clark yesterday when he went, but you just say it to me all the time because we take everything personally. We're not allowed to evaluate you. You're the manager. Your job should be to say, Glenn, that was, and by the way, it works both ways. Hey, Glenn, that last transaction, awesome. That's the way we like it here.
Right.
You did a great job there. What can I do for you, sir? Can I get you anything else? And I'm not going to, I'll just say it, and it's not a commercial. All you got to do is go to Chick-fil-A. That's all you got to do. Go to Chick-fil-A. They've mastered it. They look up at you. They speak to you. They say, thank you, sir. Have a great day. Thanks for your business. It's been a pleasure. Like, they get it. That's their business model. They get it. It's not hard, but you've got to be able to evaluate people along the way and say to them, you didn't do it the way we want you to do it.
Right.
Well,
okay. But
that's part of the problem.
But some of this also goes back to free market, right? Like, that's the service you're going to get. You've got the right to say, I'm not going there anymore.
100%.
Yep. I'm out.
100%.
I'm out.
But in the meantime, when I'm there, if you want my business, and if you want to impress me, speak to me. Stop mumbling.
So real quick, because J.J. Cooper's
right,
about to join us. What's wrong with this country for me this week? I don't have time to go. I had a friend who purchased something online that realized quite quickly it was not real. What they were purchasing was a scam. because that's all we do anymore, right? Is scam people.
Right. Oh, correct.
So they realized it very quickly. They realized it within like 15 minutes of making the purchase. And so they called their bank and said, hey, this was a scam. This was, I stopped the payment on this. Like, this was a scam. And the bank said, well, we'll let you know in 30 to 45 days.
Right.
Of course, you know what's going to happen in 30 to 45 days. The people that scammed them are going to disappear. The bank won't be able to get in touch with these people. They're not a legitimate business. And so this person's never going to get their money back. And it's, as I'm to understand, it's not that much money. It's not the end of the world. But in explaining it to me, it was wild listening to it. Because it sets up that the bank offers no safety net. No ability for you to say, hey, this might be a problem. Let's hold the money. They can't access it until we get to the bottom of this. In that way, the bank seems kind of like they're in on it, right? Hey, it might be a scam.
Oh, no doubt.
But there's nothing we're going to do about it. Sorry, on you. You might have used our app to pay for it. You might have used our thing, but it's just the way it goes. And in that way, you're the bank. You have the ability to recognize, hey, this might have been a problem. We're going to hold this money. We're not giving it back to you yet, but they can't have it.
It's probably one of the worst things. It drives me insane. We're evaluating it.
Right.
You can't have your money back.
And if it's really a scam, these people aren't waiting. They're canceling their account. You're not going to be able to find them. None. And in the bank, it's just easier for them to say, sorry, we tried. Yeah, we tried, but nothing we can do. You know, you're right. We agree it was a scam. Sorry, can't have your money back. This person said they called within 15 minutes of the transaction. Within 15 minutes. They had somebody on the phone. They did give the bank credit. And I don't want to say the name of the bank. It's not. I'm guessing it would be no different at any other bank. Had somebody, a human being on the phone, talking to him, and said, yep, sounds like a scam to us. We'll let you know in 30 to 45 days. 30 to 45 days.
Right.
Now, again, for this person, they're like, dude, it was $90. It's not the end of the world. Like, I'm going to live. But my cousin was telling me the other day, he got scammed on AFC Championship game tickets. Or maybe it wasn't him or one of his buddies did. That was a lot more than $90.
Right.
And because it's an actual scam, this person, by the time the bank investigates, money's gone. There's nothing you can do about it. There's got to be a window in there when you're doing these types of electronic transactions. You are aware that half of the world is a scam at this point. That's not surprising.
Right.
It's way too easy for this. So you've got to build up some sort of backup plan. Hey, unless you have a certain amount of money in your account, you can't just pull the money out within an hour. We got to give people an hour to recognize that they were scammed and try to do something about it. Maybe the number should be more than an hour. Maybe it should be a day.
This will all get fixed next November.
Oh, yeah? You think this is going to be high on the priority list? You think this will be near the top?
Depends on who wins.
Near the top of the list? The scam is a problem. No doubt the person that perpetuates it is the worst person in this process.
Right.
But at some point, these banks are going to have to step up and say, hey, we recognize the overwhelming amount of scamming that's going on, and maybe we have a different plan.
Right.
You can't just take the money and run. That's the way it's got to be. And that is what's wrong with this country. All right, there you go. That's what's wrong with this country.
I like that. I mean, you know what I think about people who scam.
But they're, yes,
I mean,
correct.
I agree. There's a model in place somewhere for the death penalty for murder and capital murder.
Mm-hmm.
I get all that.
Right.
There should be a law if you're caught scamming someone, the person you scam should be allowed to hit you in the face with a 2x4.
Yeah, I don't mind that one, actually.
I know it sounds very Saudi Arabia-ish,
right.
but we should be doing that.
I don't know that I mind that necessarily.
If you get caught scamming someone out of AFC Championship tickets, I should be allowed. I bring you over to Towson Precinct, and I say, this is the guy, Clark's the guy that scammed you out of your $3,000.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a 2x4. Go ahead.
Yeah, you go ahead and get hit in the face with it. That's an interesting.
I know it's a little 1800-ish.
I don't think it's gonna work,
but
I don't think it's gonna happen.
It might if you know who wins.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that because he'd probably be the first person
to get hit in the face.
That's how he made his living.
Right. Actually, that's a good point.
Yeah,
Right.
It's part of the problem.
Anyway, I know it's barbaric, but I'm tired of people getting scammed.
I agree with that. All right, let's switch gears here on GCR. This man just wrote something for Baseball America.
I'm sure he loved that intro.
Yeah, right.
What are these two maniacs talking about?
What is this? Diving into it's common. You probably hear this as an Orioles fan. You're excited about the Orioles, and all you hear back is, "Yeah, well, you're only there because you sucked for so long. It's just tanking." Well, he says that's not fully true. It's not just that the Orioles are good now because of tanking. So let's talk about it. Joining us now here on GCR from Baseball America, he is J.J. Cooper. J.J., it's Glenn and Drew in Baltimore. It's great to chat with you. Thank you for taking the time for us this morning.
Good to talk to you guys.
JJ, it's an interesting, because when I first saw what you were writing about, I acknowledge multiple layers of it, right? Like part of what's made this group good is the guys that were here before the tanking began, and we have not given Dan Duquette enough credit for it. I also, it's a weird conversation for me because, like, in Baltimore, we were never, not all of us, some people were, but we weren't always offended by the idea of tanking because we got it. We understood the model that was trying to be followed, and frankly, that model was kind of showing that it was working. So it's a weird thing where, like, I get what you're trying to say, but I'm also not offended by the people that suggest that tanking was part of the story.
Well, but the thing to me is and what I wrote, I'm not saying that the Orioles may not benefit from tanking, but the piece I wrote is the Orioles won 101 games last year, and I'm just asking everyone, point out to me the key players
right
on that team who they got through tanking, because everyone's going to – the quick response is usually, oh, well, Adley Rustman, he was 1-1 in 2019.
Right.
And the problem with that is as Orioles fans know, but a lot of people around the country may not remember, that 2018 team didn't try to tank.
Yeah, they're just bad.
It was terrible.
It was really bad.
But they tried.
Yep. So yes,
they signed Alex Cobb. No one trying to tank is going to sign Alex Cobb right before the year, like to see if you can help, push them to a wild card spot. They just were awful, and the benefits of the 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023 drafts, those are coming, but those players were not key members of last year's team.
The remarkable thing is, when you look back on that 18 team and the teams that team was lousy and they made some moves, right? Scope and Manny and all those guys, like, they didn't even get anything for those dudes.
Right.
I mean, they might have got Dean Kramer out of it, who looks pretty serviceable, but, like, we didn't even if we were trying to be terrible and trade off all of our good players, we still didn't do any good.
And the other point with that is that they were already on pace to have the number one pick before any of those guys were traded. This is the team that had the worst record in baseball on May 1st, the worst record in baseball on June 1st, the worst record in baseball on July 1st. It was just an awful team. And so, yeah, they did trade away Manny Machado at the deadline, which it would have been probably malpractice to not do that at that point, considering how bad they were and, heading free agents. And you're right, they didn't get that much, although Kramer did get back. But this is one of the things that I think is notable about this Orioles team, about this Orioles group, is Dean Kramer has developed into a service starter.
Yeah, for sure.
Honest, when he was acquired for Dylan Bundy, was, an okay arm, and he's developed into a frontline starter. This is a team that, I also wrote in that this is a team this organization has done more with waiver wire claims and purchase contracts for free talent and all that than anyone else in baseball. And it's kind of at an outlandish percentage for a team that won 100 games. When you talk about Jorge Mateo and Ramon Urias and multiple players in that bullpen, that this is a team that has kind of worked the edges very well. But the crazy part of that is I do think that, looking ahead, I think that last year's Orioles team will probably be the worst Orioles team of the next several years, even if I don't know if they're going to win 100 games again.
Right. Just, and I understand exactly what you're saying, looking at the talent that's coming. JJ, let me go back, because what I started with, too, is that you acknowledge part of this roster from a year ago really was that there was still more in the cupboard that was left behind by Dan Duquette than people wanted. When Dan Duquette was ran out of town, I think that it was missed that there was a foundation that had been laid by his group, despite everything that they were working against within ownership and decisions that were made, despite the fact that at that point Dan Duquette kind of didn't even want to be here anymore. The foundation that had been laid to start this was stronger than I think people realized it was.
Santander, Austin Hayes, Cedric Mullins, Grayson Rodriguez, D.L. Hall. Yeah, there were, I mean, again, those were guys who, obviously D.L. Hall's now been traded, but
right.
D.L. Hall was a key part of being traded to acquire a frontline starter. So absolutely, there were components there. And then the pieces that were there, plus what the new regime, the Michael Elias regime has done, the coaching staff, the development staff, all that, analytics, all of that together have gotten them to where they are. Right. It's one of those things where, as is often the case with these, the human brain, we want to make it very simple, but it's also very complex.
J.J. Cooper from Baseball America is with us here on GCR. We're going to link up this story at Glenn Clark Radio on Twitter for you guys to go check it out. And JJ, I would add to this that, like, what you just said about, hey, but it's almost like a really compelling side conversation going into this season, where you have the remnants of the Duquette regime and the guys that were a part of this thing, those guys that we just listed, but are they going to continue to be a part of this thing moving forward, or do they need to kind of go to make way for the Heston Kjerstads, the Colton Cowsers of the world? And it's almost an awkward place that the Orioles are in, where they're both trying to win right now. Like, they want to win a World Series right now, and yet they still might need to move on from some of the guys that have helped get them to this point.
That's going to be a very interesting and tough series of discussions, I think, for this front office, for this coaching staff, for everyone involved, because absolutely, like, you have to figure out a way. Now, that piece was kind of a component. The cover story of our annual preview is a deep dive into kind of how the Orioles have gotten to this point and where they're going, where they're going now, which is also at baseballamerica.com. And in it, I talked to Mike Elias somewhat about, like, part of this comes down to, okay, the Orioles used to be operated as a mid-market team, a mid-revenue team, right? They never, there's never been a point where Baltimore or the Orioles will ever be the Yankees, right? They're never going to spend like the Yankees or the Dodgers or anyone like that. But it is a team that spent significantly more than it does now. And there's obviously a lot of unknowns with that right now, but some of that also kind of determines this, right? Like, do you decide that you pick a Santander or a Mullins or a Hayes, one, two of those guys to extend? Well, part of that may come back to also to, well, what's the payroll going to look like next year, the year after that? And, kind of dive into that in that story as well, because there's two components to this. You're both trying to figure out what's the best team we can put on the field, but the other part of that is within the constraints of whatever you're allowed to spend. And we also have a new ownership group coming in, which we don't know. There are a lot of variables there, a lot of unknowns that are going to affect what this team looks like over the next few years.
Think there's any chance that the money is spent? Like, JJ, I'm in such a weird spot with the the guys that you want to keep around. Obviously, you want to extend Rutschman, you want to extend Gunnar, Henderson, Jackson, Holliday, but one of them's a year away from arbitration. The other two are Scott Boras clients, and like I just don't know that it's going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, I even with new ownership, and even if there's an interest in investing, like, I just don't know if those guys are going to sign up for it at this point.
Right, and but the other thing with that is like, it's funny, as I interact with Orioles fans on this, those are great questions that kind of are unknowable right now. But the other part of this is even if they're not, one thing kind of to remember and kind of note with that is we are talking about players who are many, many years away from free agency, right? So, like, even in Adley Rutschman's case, that's a long-term problem, potentially, or long-term question. It's not a short-term one, though, right? Because even if he doesn't, want to get, to do an extension anytime soon, he's still an Oriole unless they choose otherwise for quite a while still.
Yeah.
And because he's a potential star. Jackson Holliday because he's a potential star. Adley Rushman because he's a star. Those are the problems that the Orioles have not had a whole lot of questions like that in recent years.
Yeah, way more pleasant than what we've been used to talking about in Baltimore. JJ, as far as the next group of guys are concerned, right? Like, I start with Jackson. Like, are you confident that Jackson Holliday is a star immediately? That like he's just different than other cats are, and if he's on the team to start the season, he's good. He's ready to do this.
Well, when you say star immediately, I expect him to be. I think he's ready to be a very productive regular right now. Which the good news for them is all they need, right? They don't need him to be the best player on the team right away. They've got Adley Rushman and Gunnar Henderson and Corbin Burns and guys like that. But if you can do that at the age that Jackson Holliday is, he'll be if he makes the opening roster, he's not just one of the youngest players in the majors right now. He will be one of the youngest debuts, that the Orioles have had in decades. And being able to be a productive player as young as Holliday is right now gives you all kind of avenues to be a star in the long term, is what I would say. And kind of what I mean by that is like, if you take a guy like Holliday, and let's just say that this year he's a good defensive second baseman, and I think he'll be really good defensively there, and he gets on base, and he has a little bit of power, and he has some speed, right? And he's a good player this year. Well, then he just keeps adding on to that. Most of his contemporaries, age-wise, are trying to figure out A-ball right now. And so they have to work so hard to get to the majors, whereas Holliday's next year is like maybe, okay, well, now I'm going to start getting into some power. And the year after that, it's like, you know what? He's unlocked another level as a hitter to where instead of him being a 280 hitter, now he's a 300 hitter or whatever it is. Players who are franchise type, Hall of Fame types, making the majors as a 20-year-old as opposed to as a 24-year-old makes a big difference in that. And Holliday is obviously one of the fastest rising players, not just in the Orioles system. The guy, to go from being the number one pick in the draft as a prep, as a high school player just a couple of years ago, to the big leagues this quickly. That's the path of stars, not the path of okay players.
Right, yeah. Normally it doesn't work out that way. All right, so you said that, like, how confident are you that the Orioles can build a World Series winner with this core in the next few years?
I mean, it's a World Series caliber team that looks like that they're building here, whether that's 24, 25, 26. Now, that doesn't guarantee you a World Series win, right? That is the feature and the bug of Major League Baseball, right? If having the best team in baseball won you a World Series, the Dodgers would have a lot more World Series than they have right now.
Yeah.
It gets you there. It gets you into the playoffs. But the playoffs are long, and they're kind of a crapshoot. And so there are questions, that are unanswerable right now, right? Like, are you hot at the right times? Yep. Do you get that key hit, that key inning? But this is a team that should be contending for that, should be in that conversation year after year for several years to come.
J.J. Cooper, again, we have linked up that story, and, of course, the Orioles are featured on the cover of the new Baseball America. You can follow J.J. on Twitter at JJCoop36. JJ, always appreciate taking the time for us, man. Thanks so much for doing this morning.
No problem.
JJ Cooper, Baseball America, editor-in-chief, with us here on GCR.
We got to go.
All right.
We got a match today.
DrewsMorningDish.com.
Yeah, come on over.
Who you playing?
We are playing McDonough.
What's the line?
Eagles.
What's the line for today?
It's tough to say because it's the first match of the year, so it's uncharted territory.
Oh, well, hang on. We'll do I'll play the role here. How you feeling about your team, Coach?
I'm just excited we're just excited to be going over there and playing.
Excited to be going over there and playing.
We're just happy to be in the league and God
you
willing.
You set a championship standard over there. What's it going to take to live up to the championship standard?
Just we just got to go play good golf.
Just got to go play good golf. That's all you got to go do. Just got to. I've talked to some players from the past that said we could be great, but the coaching is kind of holding us back.
Coach told us that. You got those names. Let me know.
All right. When you ready for me to come over and give the?
Sometime in June. Sometime in June.
Well, who are you playing in June?
Don't have that schedule.
You don't have a schedule
I'll
yet?
shoot it to you though.
You're going to shoot me that $20?
Yeah, I will get you the $20.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if
I'll get it to you today. Just give me. I'm in golf mode now.
All right, Drew'sMorningDish.com. That's Drew Forrester. Go Calvert Hall McDonough today.
Yes.
Can the great unwashed go watch the match?
Sure. Come on over. 3:15.
Where's it at?
At Woodhome Country Club.
Woodhome Country Club. If you want to go root on Forrester and the Cardinals. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for stopping by. Stay off that phone. Stop
mumbling.
Stop mumbling. Stay off the phone. Today's show is also brought to you by Ruth's Chris. I can just smell it right now, that sizzling steak. That's right. I was just there a couple weeks ago. Whether you're celebrating a special milestone, entertaining clients, or simply enjoying a night out, count on Ruth's Chris to deliver to you the finest steaks, the best service, and a level of hospitality that has made Ruth's Chris one of the most revered names in steak since 1965. Make your reservation now, ruthschris.com. Former Georgia wide receiver Marcus Rosemy-Jacksaint scheduled to join us next here on GCR.
The ultimate fan experience awaits you at Sports and Social Maryland. See how we're raising the sports bar with our massive 100-foot media wall featuring 40 HD TVs and a 47-foot big screen. Bet on your favorite teams and this year's biggest events at the FanDuel Sportsbook while enjoying your favorite beers and cocktails, plus our delicious takes on bar food classics. Visit Sports and Social at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland at Arundel Mills. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hungry? With 7 locations throughout Maryland, Glory Days Grill is always right around the corner. They have wings, burgers, salads, sandwiches, and drinks to satisfy everyone, as well as tons of televisions and sound delivered right to your phone. Glory Days is the best place to watch football or whatever your favorite sport is. While you're there, be sure to check out Goose Flight's Lager, named in honor of legendary Raven Tony Goose Siragusa. $2 of every can is donated to the Goose Flights Foundation. Glory Days Grill. Great food, good sports.
Why bet with the big boys this football season? Instead, try your hand with the local book, Superbook Sports, this fall. Superbook Sports is the book next door. Just a dedicated team of the best odds makers in Las Vegas, making sure you get the best prices and parlays anywhere. And now, Superbook will give you a bonus of up to $250 when you sign up and wager on the same day and use the promo code GlennClark23, GLENNCLARK23. So bet with the best and use the promo code GlennClark23 this football season with Superbook Sports. Visit superbook.com for terms and conditions. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
6 chicken tenders made from fresh, never frozen Royal Farms world-famous chicken, a family-sized order of Western fries, honey mustard dipping sauce, and a 2-liter bottle of Dr. Pepper. It's Royal Farms' new Tucker's Tenders Meal. It's Justin Tucker's favorite, and at only $19.99, it'll be your favorite meal, too. The new Tucker's Tenders Meal, available only at Royal Farms. Now you can kick back, relax, and eat like a champion. Real fresh, real fast, Royal Farms.
The Toyota Tacoma comes in a range of models and trim lines, so you can choose the perfect Tacoma to reflect your unique personality and driving habits. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new Tacomas from your local Toyota dealer today.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
Jeremy Kahn here. The ultimate sports betting experience in Maryland is at the Green Turtle Bet Park Sportsbook. Join me at either location in Canton or in Towson and place your bets in person and be a part of the action. It's the best in-class sports wagering experience, complete with the ultimate TV package, ensuring you can catch every game all day, every day. Their state-of-the-art facilities bring Las Vegas energy right here to Maryland just in time for postseason football. So visit the Green Turtle Bet Park Sportsbook in Canton and Towson and elevate your game day experience and hang out with me to bet, watch, and win at the Turtle.
What company has the expertise to make your home healthier by purifying your air and killing all viruses, allergens, and bacteria? A.J. Michaels, Heating and Air Conditioning in Baltimore and Annapolis, ajmichaels.com.
Coming back in here with Glenn and the other guy, Garrett, whatever his name is. You know who they are.
All right, back in here on GCR as we continue along on a Wednesday edition of the program. Today's show is also brought to you by the Pressbox print issue. It is still available for free at your neighborhood Royal Farms and the hundreds of locations around town where you find Pressbox. Read it all at PressBoxOnline.com. Great Orioles feature on the cover. A lot of lacrosse content in there. Go check that out right now. And if you missed it, Stan and Luke got together yesterday and recapped what they learned down at spring training. You can find that show, Facebook.com/PressBoxSports. Click on the videos tab. Go to YouTube.com/PressBoxOnline or PressBoxOnline.com/video. We were talking about earlier with Drew. Like, they're going to do this thing where they're going to get Tom Izzo today. This is David Hale from ESPN. Tweets out this from Tom Izzo as he's having his pre-NCAA tournament press conference. Tom Izzo says auto bids for mid-majors has, quote, got to be looked at seriously, unquote, because, quote, while everybody likes the upsets in the first round, I'm not sure if that's true as it goes on, unquote. Also agrees with Pitino that more former coaches and players should be on the selection committee. Well, of course, Tom Izzo doesn't want more mid-majors in because he's not a mid-major. We all know that this is the foundation of the NCAA tournament, but they're telling you what they're going to do. They're saying we're getting rid of the lower – they're not going to be a part of it. We are insulating – we are protecting all of the money that we make on this tournament. We're getting rid of it without any thought to what that will mean, how that might impact the interest that the country has in the tournament on the whole. But they're telling you this is coming. When it comes, I don't know. But they're telling you that in your lifetime there will be an NCAA tournament where the Stetsons of the world will not be invited. Where Towson, well, they don't make the tournament anyway, so. That's what it is.
Well, why are you throwing straight?
Sorry.
Why are they
I love
catching strays
Towson. I would like for it to happen. Where UMBC can't beat Virginia because UMBC won't be allowed to play Virginia. Although this year's UMBC team might have been able to beat this year's Virginia team again. Because this year's Virginia team stunk. All right, let's continue to talk some NFL draft here on GCR. Our next guest, maybe a unique, perhaps, connection, because his former offensive coordinator is now, of course, the offense coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens. He's a wide receiver from Georgia. He is Marcus. I've been working on it all day. So, Marcus, I hope I get it right. Marcus Rosemy-Jacksaint joins us now here on GCR. Marcus, was I at least close?
Yes, you were, sir.
Awesome.
That's pretty good.
Awesome. Thank you, man. It's great to chat with you. How are you? Everything good?
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me on your show.
Dude,
everything's good.
It's great to chat with you, man. I can only imagine like how excited it is to be in your shoes at the moment. Like, you go out, you have a great pro day, you get to be a part of the combine, you get to be a part of the Senior Bowl, all of it. What has this process been like for you as you're realizing that, like, this is really happening, you're really going to be able to live out your dream and play in the NFL?
Yeah, that's really, what my mindset been at, just enjoying the process of, all the process of, getting ready to go to the league. And, I've had a lot of surreal moments of, like, yeah, oh, my God, I can't believe that, like, I'm actually, getting ready to go and play in the National Football League. So it's surreal, it's a blessing. I'm blessed and thankful for the opportunity. And, we're working.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. Obviously, you accomplished a whole heck of a lot during your college career, right? Like,
yes, sir.
You're a two-time national champion. What was the overall experience like for you during the course of these last 4 years? I'm sure there's a party that's like, yeah, I would have loved to have put up, 1,000-yard receiving numbers, things like that. But how do you look back on these 4 years and everything you were able to do during your time at Georgia?
I just reflect on the type of team we had each year. I know my freshman year when I came in, we weren't really, that team wasn't really, it was a good team. We had a lot of talent in the team, but the decorum of the team was more like, so everybody was literally fending for themselves, really. And then the following year, my sophomore year, that's when we really changed things around in terms of how the team, what the culture of the team is. I felt like my sophomore year was the first year that, you seen the true buy-in from everybody on the team, and we started something called Skull Sessions, which really basically just got everybody the opportunity to know and learn each other, and I feel like that was the edge that gave us the Skull Sessions is what gave us an edge to go out and compete at a high level because you're playing with people that you know. That was one of the things that we really worked on, that we really stressed about, was to know your partner, know your teammates, and because you're not gonna give your 100% all like playing for somebody if you don't know who he is. So that was one of our things. So, but overall, I felt like my 4 years at Georgia has really been it's been an experience for sure. It's been ups and downs, and I learned a lot of lessons there, and it was a great choice to play. I guess I picked the right school to go play at.
Yeah, I mean the ups were pretty great, right? The ups were pretty good ups. Did you feel like you had to sacrifice yourself a little bit in order to have that team success? Like I reference, that the numbers maybe for people don't jump off the page. We saw your skill. Was it something that you were willing to do? Say, hey, if this means I'm not going to put up as eye-popping numbers as I would somewhere else, that's worth it for me to do. And it feels like that's the type of selflessness that maybe an NFL team would love to have in their offense.
Right. Yeah, that's what I kind of realized, quick that I wasn't gonna come to Georgia and be that 1,000-yard receiver with 10+ touchdowns, all this that. We have a lot of talent on the team, and especially when I came in, Coach Monken, he did a great job of, knowing how to utilize everybody's talent and put them in the right position to make plays. So I'm a big part of the run game. So that was one of my main roles, helping down the run game a lot. So I took pride of it. I took a lot of pride in that, and when it came to catching the ball, stuff like that, I just, I knew I could do. I just, was waited till my number was called. So it was never, with me, it's never about the stats. I'm a winner. I don't like losing. I'm a sore loser. Anybody that knows me, I'm a sore loser. So I'd rather block and don't touch the ball the whole game and still win, or have all these stats and still give a dub.
I love that, man. By the way, it's one of my favorite things about high-level athletes is they like you guys like winning, but you hate losing so much more. It's one of my favorite things about high-level athletes. But what you just described, and we'll get into both of these guys because I know there's a Pompano Beach connection here too. But the idea of being in an offense with a Derrick Henry and a Lamar Jackson that are definitely going to be running the ball. And we could talk about Todd in a second, but just that, there probably would require a good amount of blocking. And this is your way of saying, that sounds pretty good to you, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm selfish. So I don't mind, doing dirty work for other people to succeed. It's a team game. So my whole thing is, I want everybody to succeed. I want everybody to be great. And if that means I have to make a block down the field for my running back to get a 70-yarder, then that's what that means. So, yeah, it's all about, just making sure everybody else eats.
That's cool, man. That's cool. Marcus Rosemy-Jacksaint from Georgia is with us here on GCR. You bring up Coach Monken, and it's so funny what you said because it's like what everybody has talked about. And we saw it a year ago that, he doesn't force anything that he wants to do. He puts an offense together and calls plays that are best for the guys that are on the field. What was your relationship like with him? And how important was that in the success that you guys were able to find while he was the offensive coordinator?
Our relationship with him, we were very close. When I first came in, he didn't get a chance to recruit me. At the time, James Coley was recruiting me. So when I came in, he was there. So from that day, that's when we really started, building our relationship. He's a very smart man. He really knows his football. But I can tell he's been coaching for a long time. So he coached some of the greats, some great players. So he really knows what he's talking about. He brought a different dynamic of discipline to the offense that we didn't realize that we needed. He was really he was really he used to harp a lot about the small details, which was something that as an offense we just didn't have. So he really molded us and shaped us into that disciplinary offense that we have now because of him. So he's a great guy, smart man, great person to be around. Just a good all-around coach.
You didn't happen to stay in touch with him even after he left, did you?
No, I didn't.
Okay, all right. But what would it mean? Again, I say this knowing that if you were talking to me today and I was in Detroit, you would tell me about how much you would love to be in Detroit. I get that, right? Like, I understand that you got 32 potential favorite teams. But if it did work out that it was Baltimore, how excited would you be to be back around Coach Monken here?
I'd be fairly excited. Just the fact that we've used his offense at Georgia almost 4 years I've been there. So I feel like the translation, well, I don't know, maybe it will, but I'm pretty sure that the translation from college to the NFL would be night and day in terms of playbook. I know it'll be some nuances and stuff like that. But for the most part, every formation, like I remember watching the Ravens game, and I could call out every formation and what play they about to run.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. So so that'll definitely be a good situation for me, and as well as that, I'll be able to play with LJ.
Yeah,
Lamar.
so let's talk about that, right? Like a couple of Pompano Beach kids, right? Do you know Lamar at all? Have you run in circles with him at all?
I used to. So when I was younger, I used to watch Lamar, Jerry Jeudy, Calvin Ridley, Trayvon Grimes, a whole bunch of players that's in the league now. They all come. There's a lot of players that came from my area, and I used to watch them. They used to be playing 7-on-7 stuff like that, going to the park. So the first time I ever trained with Lamar was, I think it was he won the Heisman his sophomore year.
Yes.
All right, so it was a season of him going into that Heisman year.
Okay.
So he had this trainer called Coach Peanut, and he coached, and he also won his trainers down in Pompano Beach. And one of my best friends, Jose Rebalta, he played quarterback, and basically we met. He found out about this coach, and he wanted to go out because the coach coaches he trains quarterbacks. So he wanted to go out there, and it turns out we found out that Lamar trains. He was training Lamar since he was a kid, and that Lamar's mom, was out there at the workout, running the workout. So
wow.
She wasn't in charge. Yeah, she was in charge of the running, of the drills, the obstacle drills, we had like a little weight session on the field with like dumbbells and stuff like that, and 45-pound plates. So that was when we found out about that. That's when we started going out there. We had to go out there every Sunday. So one Sunday, we go out there, and Coach Peanut say that Lamar's coming out to train with us. So, I'm not gonna lie, we was a little like, what? We're like, Lamar for the so he comes out there, and I remember. So before we start throwing with the quarterbacks, we have to do our sprints. We have to do our conditioning drills. We do a lap, we stretch, we do our little weight session, like. I don't know, I forget, but it's like a little weight session. We have like lunges and split squats and stuff like that. And then after that, we have to do our runs, 10 20s, 10 40s, 10 100s. And I remember the 20s, we get to the 20s, we just cruising. Right? Now I remember if we did the 40s, we just cruising. But I remember we got to the 100s, and that was my first time I ever seen Lamar open up and run.
Yeah.
And now this man rolling. So he's rolling. So we finished our sprint, and then it's time, to start doing the drills for the quarterback. So the quarterbacks get the balls, and then Coach Pino matches up with the quarterback. Matches receivers up with the quarterbacks. Coach Pino look at me at this time. This is sophomore season, so I'm thinking I'm in high school sometime in high school. Coach Pino tell me, "Hey Marcus, you were LJ today." So I have to catch his balls, but I think I did a pretty good job. I ain't gonna lie. He got a little zip on that ball.
And you're young at that point. Like, obviously.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you're a kid.
Like a sophomore,
right.
Probably like a sophomore in high school, maybe. So I was like, dang, that's crazy.
Man.
But, but it was cool. It was a cool experience working out with him. He put everything on the money.
That's awesome, man. What is it meant to you to see, just as a Pompano Beach kid and someone who, got to know a little bit about Lamar, but what has it meant to you to see, as you've been, having success at the college level, to see the success that he's had and how he's like really redefined what quarterbacks can be in the NFL?
Yeah, it's been a blessing being able to watch him play and him progress through his career. Remember when he was going this league, they were saying that he's not a quarterback, he's a running back, a receiver, stuff like that. And for him to go in, with 2 MVPs, and just show people that he is a quarterback and just prove everybody wrong. It's just it's a great thing to see. Him being able to to prove the doubters wrong, and him I think 2 unanimous MVP.
Yeah, missed the second unanimous MVP by 1 vote. So he's got 99 out of 100 in his MVP season.
You see, so people are realizing he's a special player. He's a different type of player, and he's an electric player. So he's a great person to be around. He's met him a couple times, but I can tell just from the couple times I've been around, he's a good player, a good person with good morals, and that would be a good thing to be able to play with him.
Man, could you even I get it. Like, playing in Chicago would be a big deal for you, but it feels like it's all set up that like this would be the perfect scenario, right? Like the idea of you being in a huddle with Lamar Jackson and plays called by your guy Todd Monken, it feels like it really couldn't get any better than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Now we just got to go make it happen. Now we just got to go make that happen for you. Marcus, what do you feel, and you know how this is. You've got the internet. You understand how the way this works. What do you think people are missing about you? Because, you're not graded as one of the highest receivers in the draft. What do you feel like people are missing about what it is that you are going to bring to the table when they call your name in the NFL draft?
The mindset that I bring, I feel like that's something that's undermined and underestimated. I don't know. It's something I really can't explain. I just feel like that I have a mindset that I'm able to bring people with me, to get better, as from a leader standpoint. And I don't know. I don't care what anybody say. Like, yeah, I might not be the fastest or the strongest or the tallest or whatever the case may be. I'm a football player. I just got a dog in me that I just won't be denied. So that's one thing about me. I feel like it's different. It's just my grit and my grind.
Sounds pretty good to us, man. I thought I liked you going into this, but I can't tell you I couldn't like you any more. And I don't think I have any sway, unfortunately. I don't think they're gonna make the decision based on me. But man, it would really be perfect if it worked out this way. Marcus, man, it's really cool hearing you talk about your path, and really the selflessness stands out for me. That what you want to do, you want to win, and it's exactly the type of football player that I think every team in the league would want to have on their roster. What can we plug? What all can we plug for you? Instagram, Twitter. Anything that you had going on NIL-wise, what can we get a plug in for you if you're taking the time for us?
Excuse me, I didn't understand that question.
Just what's the Instagram account where people have been giving you a follow, or what can we plug that you've got going on?
Okay. So Instagram is Marcus.Rosemy. I can go follow me on Instagram. I can follow me on Twitter also, Rosemy_Marcus. And yeah.
Let's give him a follow in those spots, and let's root like hell for this thing to work out, that you end up here in Baltimore, man. That would be so incredibly cool.
That would be cool.
Man, it would be a great story.
And Jay Flowers with Odell's over there.
Man, well, we got to see what's going to happen there. That's not a done deal yet, but we'll work on that.
Yeah.
We'll work on that.
Right. You're right.
Marcus, congratulations on everything you've accomplished so far, and best of luck to you as long as you're not a Pittsburgh Steeler. Whatever happens moving forward, it's going to be easy to root for you and your success, just as long as, it doesn't work out for Pittsburgh, and even then, promise, it's not personal. You just understand how this thing goes.
Of course.
Appreciate you taking the time for us, man. Would love to be in touch if this works out with you in Baltimore, all right?
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too, man. Marcus Rosemy-Jacksaint, University of Georgia. You can just hear it in his voice, man, talking about Lamar, right? Like, that'd be a really, really special story. And I get it. There's a lot of good football players that come out of Pompano Beach, and, you can't have all of them. That's the way it goes. But it seems like this one in particular might make a lot of sense. Viewed right now as maybe a 4th, 5th round guy, day 3 guy, although he did have a nice pro day. The numbers just, they're not explosive, right? Like, you just look at his, and yet everyone knows. Like, to get a combine invite and to be viewed the way that he is, despite the fact that he did not put up overwhelming numbers in college, tells you what scouts think of him. The talent goes beyond the production. It's not going to be a first-round pick. I don't know that Ladd McConkey's going to go in the first round or not. I don't know.
Yeah, it seems like they're thinking early second.
Yeah. But talented dude, mindset is great. Obvious, the connection with Todd Monken, history with Lamar Jackson. Just seems like it would make an awful lot of sense if at some point during the course of the draft, the Baltimore Ravens called Marcus Rosemy-Jacksaint's number. It would make some sense. All right. Hour number 2 of today's show was also brought to you by Goose Flights. Partnership with Pressbox and Guilford Hall Brewery. Goose Flights is available all over town. You can go find out where at PressBoxOnline.com/gooseflights. Man, it's delicious beer, and it also goes to benefit a really great charity. The Goose Flights Foundation, $1.98 from every can sold goes to them. PressBoxOnline.com/gooseflights in order to find out more. When we come back in, we'll get a tidbit and tubular to wind things down for a Would You Rather Wednesday edition of Glenn Clark Radio.
Hey, it's Jeremy Kahn. This postseason, bet in person at the Green Turtle Bet Park Sportsbooks with locations in Canton and in Towson, and enjoy the best in-class sports wagering experience at their state-of-the-art facilities, bringing an unmatched sports betting thrill.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
Discover your next favorite beer crafted in the heart of Charm City. At Guilford Hall Brewery, we believe beer should be flavorful and easy to enjoy. Our meticulously crafted lagers and ales are derived from centuries-old European brewing traditions, a staple for both the seasoned beer aficionado or a novice hophead. Experience beer styles that dare to showcase the exceptionality of simplicity. Visit our restaurant and brewery at 1611 Guilford Avenue or view our menu and tap map online at guilfordhall.com. Guilford Hall Brewery, European tradition, Baltimore charm.
Make the most out of every day in your Toyota RAV4. Available in hybrid or gas-only models. A RAV4 can get you where you want to go in style. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new RAV4s from your local Toyota dealer today.
6 chicken tenders made from fresh, never frozen Royal Farms world-famous chicken, a family-sized order of Western fries, honey mustard dipping sauce, and a 2-liter bottle of Dr. Pepper. It's Royal Farms' new Tucker's Tenders Meal. It's Justin Tucker's favorite, and at only $19.99, it'll be your favorite meal too. The new Tucker's Tenders Meal, available only at Royal Farms. Now you can kick back, relax, and eat like a champion. Real fresh, real fast, Royal Farms.
Craving that classic New York deli experience? Look no further than the new Atman's Deli in Baltimore's Harbor Point. Corned beef piled high, hand-rolled bagels, and something different. A bar! Atman's has food and drink specials every day. Now open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Dine in, grab takeout, or hang out at the bar for the next O's game. Atman's Deli, an authentic taste of Baltimore tradition since 1915. Find us at Harbor Point or visit atmansdeli.com.
What company has the expertise to make your home healthier by purifying your air and killing all viruses, allergens, and bacteria? A.J. Michaels, Heating and Air Conditioning in Baltimore and Annapolis. AJMichaels.com.
Hungry? With 7 locations throughout Maryland, Glory Days Grill is always right around the corner. They have wings, burgers, salads, sandwiches, and drinks to satisfy everyone, as well as tons of televisions and sound delivered right to your phone. Glory Days is the best place to watch football or whatever your favorite sport is. While you're there, be sure to check out Goose Flight's Lager, named in honor of legendary Raven Tony Goose Siragusa. $2 of every can is donated to the Goose Flights Foundation. Glory Days Grill. Great food, good sports.
One of the things that's definitely wrong with this country is that this dude still has a job somehow, some way. Glenn Clark.
Back in here on GCR as we are winding down for a Would You Rather Wednesday edition of the program. Griffin, remind everybody what's going on in the Green Turtle tomorrow.
Free $10 bets at the Green Turtle Bet Park Sportsbooks in Towson and Canton every Thursday. And just so happens that the big basketball tournament starts tomorrow, so maybe put 2 and 2 together. You can experience the ultimate destination for game day excitement, great food, and live in-person betting. So go check out the Green Turtle Bet Park Sportsbooks in Towson and Canton. Pick up your free bet and make some money while enjoying some food and hoops tomorrow.
So I realized that if we were going to ad-lib it, what we should have done is encourage everybody to go to the Green Turtle tomorrow night.
Yes.
Tomorrow night, the place to be.
That was what I was trying to get to.
Is the Green Turtle. Just
very
not eloquently. Not eloquently.
Unfluidly.
We could have gotten there, but yes, the place to be tomorrow night for watching all the basketball games is the Green Turtle, and then we don't mention anything else. We just suggest tomorrow night. That would be the way to go about doing it. But these things happen. We live, we learn. We love.
Definitely learn.
All of those things. We live, laugh, love, and thankful to be alive. All right, continuing to get me your responses for Would You Rather Wednesday, brought to you by Glory Days Grill. Somebody's winning a $25 gift card to Glory Days Grill. We'll choose that winner tomorrow. Reminder, 9 to 11 tomorrow morning. I forgot that I had committed to going to the Fall Out Boy show tonight.
Oh, sweet.
I'm a super Jimmy Eat World fan, so
you
that's
just
the
leave
part.
after Jimmy.
No, because the amount of money that these tickets cost, I'm not going to do that. Really regret making that decision, knowing that we had got to do the show at 9 tomorrow morning. 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, 9 into 11 for the show tomorrow is then, yes, Griffin and I will head out of here, and we will get to Live Casino and Hotel to hang out at Sports and Social. We hope that you will come join us. Great giveaways, great food specials, and an awesome atmosphere for watching hoops. I'll be your host. I'll be keeping you abreast of line movements and, having some fun trivia, stuff like that during the course of the day. So come hang out with us. Chill with us at Sports and Social tomorrow afternoon from 12 to 4. That's where we're going to be. All right. Anything that we didn't cover that we needed to cover? Or can we get the tidbit? I'm trying to think if there was anything else that happened that I needed to talk about. And I feel
Chris Board is back.
Chris Board, and we didn't really talk about Arthur Millette either.
That's true, yeah. Arthur Millette, big one.
So, the Ravens did make 2 moves. And, look, Arthur Millette had a nice season. Now, part of that is measured in how much you're asking from Arthur Millette, right? Like, if Arthur Millette's your 3rd or 4th cornerback, then you feel pretty good about Arthur Millette as your 3rd or 4th cornerback. If you're banged up and all of a sudden you look and Arthur Millette is one of your top 2 corners, we'll see. We'll see. Right now, obviously, you would say, Marlon and Brandon Stevens are your top 2 corners. And with Ronald Darby being gone, the moment it might be Arthur Millette, that's your 3rd corner. So, that's okay. But I still think the Ravens need more depth there. It's one of those things that on paper makes all the sense in the world. Although I thought at the number that Ronald Darby got, that would have made all the sense in the world too, frankly, because I thought that was an affordable number. But sure, makes sense for the Ravens to bring back Arthur Millette. I just think they could still use more at the corner position. I think this is good. You feel fairly good about the 3 guys you have, and I don't want to be dismissive towards the Pepe Williams, the Jalen Armour Davises of the world who are still in the conversation. But, the way you feel is the way I feel too. Now, part of that is injury, and so let's see if healthy, if they could be, a more significant piece. They're a part of the conversation. They're in that equation. I just think that you could use still more depth at corner to try to win a Super Bowl. This is the nature of the beast. I think you could use another veteran in that group. Obviously, Ronald Darby worked last year. Rosemy-Jacksaint, not so much. But I would still be looking for a little bit of depth at the cornerback position. Chris Board is back, mostly a special teams player. Although, as you're moving on from Patrick Queen, and as it looks like you're more committed to Trenton Simpson as being a starter, you do also need depth at inside linebacker, and so you're able to find someone that you know well, that has been a solid football player. I got no beef with bringing back Chris Board. Doesn't cost you much. It's depth signing. That's what I got for you. I don't have a big breakdown to offer of it. They brought back someone to give them some depth, presumably behind Trenton Simpson, and who, again, at the worst case scenario, Chris Board is a solid special teamer. So
need those.
Yes, correct. I'm trying to think if anybody you lost was significant special teams wise.
Delshon Phillips.
Oh, I forgot about Delshon Phillips. Yeah, that's a good point, right? So, yeah, you did it. It's something that I already forgot about, right? You forget about those types of things. But yes, absolutely. That's someone you needed to replace, and I think Chris Board is quite the adequate replacement for that. That's it. That's all I can say about it. And I like Chris. Chris is a good guy. But somebody that you could use for your football team. I still think that obviously we're all waiting to see, the Jadeveon Clowney thing is the thing that sort of feels the heaviest at the moment for the Baltimore Ravens. Are you going to do something there? Are you going to do anything at along the offensive line? Are you that committed to your young players and whoever you're going to draft? I think those continue to be the big questions, and I guess there's still a question about whether there's room for another veteran wide receiver. I think that they would say that Nelson Aguilar was what they were doing as far as veteran wide receivers are concerned. Tylan Wallace is still in the mix, I guess. Yeah. I feel like they could still use something in that department, and obviously drafting one more guy, but it'd be interesting to see if they don't share those feelings. It's feeling more and more like the NFL's not going to do anything to discipline Zay Flowers, so
move forward.
Yeah,
kind of.
It feels like that anyway at this point. I don't know anything. It's possible,
right? Yeah,
but there's not been any reporting about it. It kind of has just gone away. So maybe they just say, look, we got those are 3 guys that we have faith in, and then we'll draft somebody, and Tylan Wallace will be in that mix, and that's our group of wide receivers. That's what it's going to be. And they still probably, again, the post-June 1st thing is the thing the Ravens would still – it is weird that they prioritize signing Chris Board before June 1st. And maybe other things they might be waiting until after June 1st for.
Higher demand for Chris Board in some way?
I don't know. It's very weird.
Stephon Gilmore, Adoree Jackson.
As far as veteran cornerbacks that are still available?
Micah Hyde is out there.
I'm not saying no to any of them. None of them are.
Oh, we got to get the Steelers back. Patrick Peterson.
I feel like, was it Patrick Peterson? There was somebody else. The day of the Patrick Queen news, I sent out a tweet look, man, you broke up with your girl because, you just thought you guys were going in different ways, but you didn't think you should be hanging all over your mortal enemy the next day. And my friend, Rita's boyfriend, tweeted me and said, bro, you got no choice left. You got to go take another girl to the movies and have her sit on your lap in front of her. That's the way it's got to go. So then I joked, I tweeted, I tagged somebody. I don't think it was Peterson. I think it might have been is Marcus Golden?
Lost.
Maybe Marcus Golden's a free agent. I was like, yo, Marcus Golden, you seen Dune 2 yet?
Rocky Sin.
Yep. Still out there.
Eli Apple's out there.
Yeah. Well, the thing about that.
What's wrong with him?
Oh.
Daryl Worley.
Look,
Logan Ryan.
Bring back. I thought Logan Ryan's available. I thought I saw that he was somewhere.
Did he retire or something?
I don't know.
He's 33 now.
I thought I saw somebody tweet about Logan Ryan. So
Trayvon Mullen. stint number
I
3 or 4.
forgot the Trayvon Mullen. I forgot he existed, frankly. If I'm being
Kello
totally honest
Witherspoon,
with you.
he was pretty good.
He was okay. Yeah, he was okay. That's the list of
Fabian Moreau.
Sure. We're just naming guys at this point.
Do this all day. Stevie Nelson.
Dude, who doesn't love naming guys? All right, very good.
C.J. Henderson was once high on him.
He once was he a first round pick?
Yeah, was he top 10?
He might have been.
I think he was.
He might have been
like
that
3rd
high.
overall or something.
You know how much we love Atman's Deli and Harbor Point. I still have some pickles left in the back fridge, which makes me very happy.
9th overall.
That's crazy. Atman's has got a new location in Harbor Point. It's everything you loved about the original Atman's. Of course, the hand-rolled bagels, the delicious soups, the sandwiches that are a 10.5, the corned beef piled high, the classic New York deli experience. But on top of that, it's now also a full bar. It's just the best of all worlds. The new Atman's in Harbor Point. You're getting ready for the start of baseball season. Go check them out on your way or after a game. Find out more about daily specials right now at atmansdeli.com. Tidbit is brought to you by your local Toyota dealer, buyatoyota.com. We're into spring sports season at the high school level, and Toyota is a proud sponsor of County Sports Zone. CountySports.zone for all the schedules, all of the scores, everything you need to know, all brought to you by your local Toyota dealer and buyatoyota.com.
So Jackson Holliday and Gunnar Henderson published their brackets for public consumption.
Oh, well, I don't know who Jackson Holliday, I guess, because Oklahoma State's not in the tournament.
Correct, yeah.
So who would Jackson Holliday root for? I don't know. Who?
He has the Kansas winning it all.
Maybe it's a conference thing for him, like you were trying to suggest.
I mean, I guess like Kansas is close-ish to. It's right above.
But you would think, being in the conference, he wouldn't.
Yeah,
like
he would hate them.
Maybe
Maybe
again,
you know
part
what?
of it is
it is a conference thing because his Final Four is Iowa State, Houston, and Kansas.
Yeah,
so he's a
just
Big 12.
all
He's
Big
a
12
guy.
all Big 12 for Jackson Holliday. But I'll never understand that thought process. I'll never understand the root. Like, I don't want these teams to win. I don't like them.
And then it makes OK State look better because
I
they have
guess.
a win over somebody who has a the transitional win
Yeah,
over
oh,
Houston.
Is it we call
is
it
transitive or transitive?
transitive? Exactly what we call it. Transitive national champion at that point. I don't think Kansas is going to win it all. I don't think that's going to be the case.
Never know.
No, you're right. You never know. Just don't think so. And what about Gunnar?
Gunner's got quite the bracket here.
Yeah. So Gunnar was.
I mean, I don't mind his national champion. It's unlikely, but Let
me think about this. Let me think about what Gunnar would be. Gunnar is from Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't remember if he was ever committed to play. Was he ever committed?
I don't think so.
So it's
maybe unless he was committed to this school. I don't.
Was he committed to Auburn? Does he have Auburn winning
he has
it all?
Auburn winning it all.
Then that might be the answer. Is that he was committed to Auburn?
I don't know any of his other connections here because he has Duquesne in the Sweet 16.
Okay.
He's got Washington State knocking off Iowa State.
Hey man.
And them losing to Auburn in the Elite Eight.
Right.
And he's got James Madison in the Final Four.
Hey, that'd be a great story, right?
I thought there was one more. He does have Grand Canyon. He has Alabama losing to Carolina in the Sweet 16, so doesn't have too much allegiance to Alabama.
Well, but
because
if he was an Auburn guy, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Those seem to be. He's got Colorado State winning over Texas.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Gonzaga in the Elite Eight.
I dig it. Look, I'm worried that I have too much chalk in my. I filled out a women's bracket. And it's definitely way too much chalk.
I mean,
that's where I know a little bit about the men's lower seeds, and I realize I don't know anything about the women's lower seeds. Yeah. And so as much as I paid attention to the top teams in women's college basketball, I couldn't tell you a thing. I couldn't tell you the coaches they are. I couldn't tell you we all feel something about McNeese because we're hey, that is Will Wade. I actually watched some of the title game because I know Tavon Sadler, so I was a little bit interested in that. But I don't know. On the women's side, I don't know anything about Florida Gulf Coast.
I think they were good, right?
They're in the tournament, so I hope they are. So I did in my women's bracket. I tried to pick. I worry that I have too much chalk in the men's tournament. I have some first round upsets, but I don't really have any terribly low seeds
deep,
making deep runs.
Double digit
tournament.
Seeds in the Sweet 16, or
I don't know. Maybe I'll pull it back up.
I'm still trying to figure out who I want.
Yeah,
I'm working on it. It's a process here. I fill out one bracket right away, and it's
right.
Yeah, this will probably be.
I need you to get in Need you to get in. Venmo, Glenn-Clark.
How do we have that?
PayPal, Glenn-Clark 180. It's hard to tell because there's 27 that
I don't think either of my Sean's are in yet.
Neither of your Sean's are in.
I don't know what they're waiting for.
I'm trying to feel. There's somebody in here that I don't think I know, so I don't think they've paid. So I got to.
The Sean's have paid, so I guess
Yeah, that's fine. If they don't get in, that's on them. Like there's no crying for the Sean's. That's their issue. I have to deal with. I think we're. If I had to do the math on everything, I think we're in the neighborhood of like 33. Last year we had 38. So considering that John and Little Rock made a little extra donation, the donation part, which is what I care about, will at least match, if not exceed, what last year's donation was. Good. I'd like to get it up to $500. That would make me very happy if we made a $500 donation to show your soft side. So please, just bug a friend today. Say, hey, have you signed up yet? It's $20. I've been harassing the guys on my trivia team about it this week. Like, just bug somebody that's in your life and say, hey, please go get in this thing. It's for charity. I don't want to hear I don't know anything about college, but stop it. The person who won last year, I promise you, did not watch any college basketball all year long. Susan Johnson, who I love, she's one of my favorite people, but she just does this to be a part of the charity. That's it. She does it, and she won. And then she said, go ahead and donate it.
All right, Suze.
All right?
Yeah.
I think Sandy from Show Your Soft Side won one year. So we just donated everything to Show Your Soft Side, which was great. I love that. Just get in. Just harass somebody today. Say, hey, man, go sign up. It's a charity thing. The begrudging part of it, man, I don't ask you guys for a ton during the course of the year. This, Bowl Pick'em, supporting what we do for helping up at the end of the year, it's very little. Please, just get in, all right? Let's get this number to $500. I get it. Other people are like, oh, I want to get in. I want to win all the money. Stop it. For God's sake, it's a charity bracket contest. Jesus, why do I have to go this far? Like, it should not be this hard. Just sign up. Glenn-Clark on Venmo. 2 N's. Somebody screwed that up yesterday. Glenn-Clark 180. I'm like, I have not seen your money.
Big week for Glenn single N Clark.
Yeah, Glenn single. Whoa, what's this? Glenn-Clark 180 on PayPal and on Cash App Glenn-Clark Radio. If you need to use Zelle, something like that, it's fine. Just tell me. I'll get it figured out. Somebody, my cousin's kid gave me $20. Just handed me. We were at trivia the other night. He's like, I'll just give you $20. Fine. I can Venmo the money that's necessary, and I've got the $20. Life will go on. So get in, tell somebody, get somebody else in, harass somebody about it today. All right? Go at work today. Just say, hey, I'm doing this charity bracket contest. Can 3 of you get in on it, please, so that we can make a nice donation to Show Your Soft Side, the amazing work that they're doing.
Also, there are 2 Division I basketball players this year with 175 rebounds, 175 assists, and 50 steals on the season. They're both in the tournaments. Any idea who would have 175 rebounds and assists and 50 steals on the year?
Nope.
They both have the same name.
They both have the same name, you say?
One from Purdue.
Zach Edey. No, Braden Smith.
Yes, Braden
Sorry,
Smith.
Braden Smith and there's another Braden.
There's another Braden Smith, and he's in the tournament as well.
Who is he with?
He is with Colgate. Braden Smith of Purdue and Braden Smith of Colgate. Both have are the only 2 players with 175.
How about that?
Boards and assists and 50 steals.
Look at that.
And then Blake Snell on the move. That was Monday night. He became the 11th Cy Young winner.
I saw this.
Okay. All right,
well, I don't
know
I'm
it.
Trying to, yeah.
11th Cy Young winner to change teams in the offseason. 4 have been via trade, 7 via free agency. Who are the 7 or the 10 other, or as many of the 10 others can you name?
Damn it. One of them was Greg Maddux. I remember that.
That is correct. He went from
Chicago to Atlanta.
Correct.
People forget that he won his first Cy Young with Chicago.
I definitely forgot that.
It's going to drive me nuts, man. And a lot of them have been recent.
Yeah, they have. In fact, the last, the last 4 years. Now, yeah,
Robbie Ray was one of them.
Robbie Ray went from Toronto to Seattle in 2020.
Was Trevor Bauer one of them?
Yes. Yeah, he went from the Reds to the Dodgers. Man. You're missing one more from the last 4 seasons.
Oh, Verlander.
Yes,
yeah,
Verlander went from the Astros to the New York Mets, and that worked out.
Yeah. 5 minutes later. I think I'm good here.
One more from this millennium.
One more from this millennium.
I love throwing that out there anytime.
Yikes. Scherzer.
No, not Scherzer.
Garrett Cole.
Not Garrett Cole.
Requires me to remember who won the Cy Youngs.
He went from. Give you one more guess, or
no, because it's 12:30.
He went from the New York Mets.
Yeah.
In 2012 to the Toronto Blue Jays.
Oh, R.A. Dickey.
R.A. Dickey.
Yeah, R.A. Dickey.
Cy Young in 2012.
What a weird part of history that is, right? Okay.
And then we had three more.
In the 90s?
In the 90s.
I'm going to guess one of them was Clemens.
Yes, Roger Clemens went from Toronto to New York. That was in 1998.
Was Pedro from Montreal to Boston after a Cy Young?
He was in 97.
And
got three more total.
Well, it's not Mike Messina. He didn't win a Cy Young. David Wells?
No, not David Wells. First name correct, though.
Oh, David Cone.
David Cone. Kansas City to Toronto, 94.
And
then 1989 and 1974.
Yeah, okay.
In 89, he went from San Diego to Kansas City in the 89 offseason.
Brett Saberhagen?
Mark Davis.
Oh, we could have been here a while.
74 went from this one. You should know it.
I should know this.
In 74, Oakland to New York. Yankees.
Catfish Hunter?
Catfish Hunter.
I was going to say, I don't think Vida Blue ever went to. Yeah.
And those are your 11.
All right.
Now to switch
quite,
teams.
Quite the group.
Blake Snell.
Quite the group. Very good. Very good. Tubular is brought to you by Superbook. As we mentioned, 2 games tonight in the basketball contest thing. The thing that determines the champion. 2 more games tonight. The first game, maybe not. The big one tonight. It's always something they say, but
I lean towards Montana State.
What's your?
I mean, because they've been here. I mean, they've been here and done this before. They're a team that rides on how well they shoot the ball. So if they can't shoot it, it might be a long night for them. But that's how they won the Big Sky tournaments, but by making their shots.
All
so
right.
I think
Montana State a 5-point favorite against Grambling tonight, and then Colorado a 3-point favorite against Boise State. I love Boise there. Give me the Broncos.
That's what I'm wondering. That's how I'm wondering. I'm like, is the Mountain West just really pissed off this year, or is Water going to find its level? And
oh, okay. So we learned nothing from Colorado State's performance last night. That's actually helpful for figuring out Boise State tonight.
Got to wait until we get
maybe
more
it's
of
just
a pattern,
or maybe that like teams from Colorado in general.
Oh
yeah,
so
maybe
it's
that's
big
what the
buff
story
night.
is. I don't know, but I like Boise State tonight. So if you want to bet those, also the lines are out for most of the first round games. So if we're looking at what the games that we care about for tomorrow, we care about
the Beach,
Creighton. 20.5-point dogs against Arizona for the Beach.
Come on.
And Akron 13-point dogs against Creighton. The other games that we'll be watching tomorrow.
Michigan State. Yeah.
Michigan State a 1-point favorite against Mississippi State, and BYU a 9.5-point favorite against Duquesne. So we'll be watching all those games tomorrow. And if you want to bet them, go to superbook.com, download the Superbook app, use the code GlennClark23 when you sign up. You'll receive up to $250 in a same-day first bet match, win or lose. Also, lots of tournament-related prop bets that are available at Superbook that you can check all of those out. Let's find some fun props for tomorrow that we can bet on.
The Akron game's interesting because more or less, kind of a home game for Akron. They're in Pittsburgh.
Right. That's a good point. They should have a...
if they're trying to win this game, they're going to have to slow things down a bit. So I'm starting to
You're starting to
on
lean
the under.
Oh, the under for Akron Creighton.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's still possible Creighton,
right.
wins by double digits. I think it stays close for a bit, though.
Very good.
Hopefully a good game.
Tubular tonight, Orioles, Phillies, 6 o'clock, Taiwan Walker and Dean Kramer, the pitching matchup. It is again on Masson, and since it's in Baltimore, or since it's in Sarasota, I assume they have to, use their own graphics. I mean, the broadcaster still won't be there, but, take what you can get.
At least the graphic will coincide with what they're talking about, I guess.
Christ. The Maryland women's lacrosse team plays Georgetown at 4 o'clock on Flow Sports. Bummer for Navy last night. They got trounced by Villanova, 14-7. Every time I want to buy in the Navy and, they go beat Hopkins on Friday night, I'm like, oh, Navy's got things figured out. Then they get obliterated by Villanova.
Because they didn't have to face any adversity on the way they game.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they need more. Well, that's true. It was at home. They didn't have any buses light on fire. It's very weird. ESPN tonight, Bucks Celtics 7:30, Grizzly Warriors 10, and tomorrow morning 6 a.m. for the next Dodgers Padres game. I think Yamamoto's pitching tomorrow, isn't he? So yeah, that was on when I woke up, which was nice. I watched a little bit of it. Saw the Cronenworth thing. It's funny. I can't lie.
I think I woke up and I saw. I was like, "Oh wow, the Padres are winning."
Yeah.
And then I fell back asleep for another half hour or so, and then.
Happy for Jackson Merrill. That's very cool. He was on with us a couple years ago when he was just starting his pro career and gets the bigs at the age of 20. It's really remarkable.
Take notes.
Who? Oh, Jackson Holliday, yeah, right? And Jackson, another Jackson, right? True TV.
A lot of good Jackson Churio. And,
that's a good point.
Milwaukee.
Yeah. True TV for the.
Name my kid Jackson, I guess.
Maybe you should. I regret not doing that. True TV for the play-in or the first 4 games: Grambling, Montana State, 6:40, Colorado, Boise State. After that, the play-in games in the women's tournament tonight on ESPNU: Presbyterian and Sacred Heart at 7, Columbia Vanderbilt at 9. They're actually right back to back because they're not at the same location. They're at whatever the location is that the winner will play in, which seems to make sense. But I guess Dayton has really embraced the first 4 over the years. More NIT tonight. Who cares? TNT Maple Leafs Capitals 7:30, Wild Kings at 10. Tennis Channel for the Miami tournament at 11 a.m. Oh, that's already underway for the day. MLB Network, Mets, Marlins 1, Giants, Angels 4, Angels, Royals 9, so I guess it's a split squad today, and TBS for AEW Dynamite at 8. Non-sports.
Good NIT games today.
But like only 2 of them are on TV. The rest are on Plus.
Well, I mean,
I don't really.
I guess in my mind, everyone has Plus.
Well, I guess because the women's games are on ESPNU, so that's not available, and they've got NBA on ESPN, but I feel like one of them is at least one of them is an ACC game. Like, why wouldn't you just put that on the ACC network? I think there's a Wake Forest in there, isn't there?
Yes, Wake Forest, App State.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you put that on the ACC network?
I don't know who's playing. So, Big Cat had a good tweet yesterday.
Yes.
He was like, we're cutting away from Virginia, Colorado State to go to our regularly scheduled programming, and it was gonna cut back to Impractical Jokers from the game because that would be better television.
Yeah, it would have been, no doubt.
Actually, a big night Survivor, of course. Abbott Elementary. Kristen Wiig will be on Fallon because of a new show on Apple TV Plus that comes out today.
What's it called?
It's called Palm Royale, and it looks actually pretty good. Like, it looks like very aesthetically pleasing, and it looks very well done. Kristen Wiig, Laura Dern, Allison Janney, and it's like there's this big exclusive club, and everyone it's like the most exclusive club in the world or something like that. I don't really know, like all Apple TV trailers, I don't really have any idea what it's about, despite there being a 3-minute long trailer. But Kristen Wiig and Laura Dern are in it, so I'm interested.
Right.
Top Chef season 21 on Bravo, and Bad Batch, of course, with Disney Plus as well. X-Men 97 also on Disney Plus. They're like reviving, I guess, like the animated X-Men series.
All right, interesting.
So it looks pretty good.
If you say so.
X-Men.
I did not realize that Girls 5 Eva came back last week.
Oh.
Why do we not talk about that?
Sorry.
It's on, and it's on.
Is that like the Roku channel or something?
No, it's on Netflix now.
Oh.
It went from Peacock, where the first couple seasons were streaming, to Netflix. So, like, sometimes it shows up like, hey, you watch this as a new season. Because I had never watched it on Netflix before, it didn't show up. But Renee Goldsberry was on The Daily Show, and she was like, hey, it's back. I'm like, what? Because it moved over to Netflix. So I love Girls 5 Eva. It's great. It's from the same it's the same concept of nonstop jokes like Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt was, and
Gotcha.
30 Rock and shows like that. The like never-ending parade.
Is Tina Fey in it, or is Tina Fey?
She's a producer. She's not in
okay.
it. But the cast is like
I don't recognize.
Renee Goldsberry, Paula Pell, who's been in a lot of things.
Busy Phillips.
Busy Phillips, who when you see, you'll recognize her, but you don't know why you recognize her. And Sarah Bareilles, the singer, is also, because they're like a girl band. They're a pop group. So it's a very funny show. It's a very, very funny show. I've greatly enjoyed it, and I watched a couple episodes last night after I learned that it was back. I was like, hey, yay. All right, very good. Thanks today to Drew Forrester. Thanks to J.J. Cooper and to Marcus Rosemy-Jacksaint. We'll get that up in the greatest hits section of the
Oh, my God, it's so good.
tab at GlennClarkRadio.com. 9 to 11 tomorrow morning. We start at 9. J.J. Hardy is scheduled to join us. He was also a guest instructor, spring training. Perhaps you've heard of Joe Flacco.
Oh, really?
He is scheduled to join the program tomorrow. And Kwame Evans,
Yes.
Baltimore native. He was also at Monteverde, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Was he there with Derek Queen? We'll figure that out before we talk to him tomorrow.
No, because how long? Yeah, no, because Derek Queen went there since his sophomore year.
Yeah, so would they have had a year
they should have
together?
overlapped.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, we'll figure that out. And then, he's now with Oregon. They just won the Pac-12 tournament and get ready for the NCAA tournament, so we'll chat with him as well. All that coming up on the program tomorrow. Thanks to everybody at PressBox, all of our great sponsors and partners, including Ruth's Chris, Live Casino and Hotel, Atman's Deli, AJ Michaels, Guilford Hall Brewery, Royal Farms, Costa Sin, Superbook Sports, Glory Days Grill, your local Toyota dealer, buyatoyota.com. Thanks to Griffin at Griffin_Bass. Follow us, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Glenn Clark Radio. Get into the bracket contest, for God's sakes. Duke sucks.